I am such a tyrant every time I ride it. Ghostly said, Adam's leaving us undelivered. Hey, the time I say I'm going to go live is just an estimate. It's just an estimate, babe. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another early morning stream. It's 4 p.m., but this is early for us. It's early for us. Hello, everyone. 2 streams, 2 days in a row. How are we feeling? We feeling good? I'm feeling good to be here. I have my 2 beverages. Again, I have my natural lime White Claw, and I have my Red Bull. And I'm ready. He's on AST, Adam Standard Time. That's funny. But true. Anyways, hello, everyone. Adam, you're late. You were just incredibly early. Hi, Chloe. Chloe, do you want to be added as a mod? You're always on here. You don't have to be, but if you want that, I can add you as one. See, I remember the usuals. The Bevs. You got a quiet on set ad before this? Oh, that's not really great timing. Hello, Emily. Thank you so much for being here. Keely Madison, hello. I'm such a tyrant every time I ride it. The queen is never late. Thank you. I appreciate that. Can't be late to your own party. Thank you. Let me show you something. What's my shirt? It's a Cowboy Carter shirt. And it's a Beyonce shirt for her new album, which I love so much. Adam, guess what? What, Toast? Hit me with it. I'm very excited that my Cowboy Carter merch arrived today. That's no problem, Chloe. Don't worry. If you ever do, just ask me, okay? DM me and I'll add you as one. Hello, Jenny. Chicken butt. Hey, let me show you this. I got a new painting today. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so far away. What do you think of it? Let me show you. It's little people. It's little people in a cafe. It was in my friend's cafe, and the owner was selling it, and I've been seeing it for the last couple weeks that I've been there, and it kind of reminded me of Paris. It reminded me of Paris in a big way. So I had to get it. Do we like it? If you're wearing lip gloss, I'm wearing a lip tint. My lips are actually quite chapped. I'm so ready for the Tortured Poets Department. What an interesting name of an album. Do we love it? That's the muckers during the stream. Wait, that's beautiful if you think about it like that. Anyways, very excited about that. Let me let everyone know that we're live, and then we can get in. How long am I live for today? No idea. All I know is that I'm going out later. It's my friend's club night tonight in Brighton. If anyone's in Brighton, I'd recommend it. It's really fun. It's called Crushed. It's a big lesbian night. I'm a token lesbian for the night. I go to support, but I'm not a lesbian. Would love to be a lesbian, though. I think that sounds really fun. And also, lesbians get together really quickly, whereas gay men love to, like, drag along the process. All right, let me let everyone know that we're live. It's also incredibly early. I think this is the earliest we've gone live. All right, I'm live. I've let them know. Now I'm going to let Twitter know. And then I think we're good to start. I've already let Instagram know. Yeah, I think I'm good to start. All right. So, yes, love that painting. And yes, I am a token lesbian for today. So I'm actually a lesbian today, which is crazy. I thought the pink mic broke. This is a new mic, and I put the pink thing on it because so many people were so pissed about the thought of me changing the mic. We don't have lesbian spots here. Well, there's one in Brighton for you. So anyways, yeah, today's stream is going to be a little bit of a controversial one. It's something that I've wanted to do, and it's going to be a little bit of a deep dive into Drake Bell. That's kind of going to be our main topic for today, and I kind of want to stay on topic and focus on it. You love the painting. Well, I didn't make it, so I was going to say thank you, but are you staying up to watch Lana? Okay, today is a very important day in my life because Lana Del Rey is headlining Coachella. Now, not only is this a big deal, like I'm not at Coachella, right? Which is crazy because I got an invite. Wait, do you want to know something crazy? Oh my God. Okay. So I got an invite to Coachella with a bunch of British influencers. I'm not British, but they were clumping me in. I got an invite to Coachella with a bunch of British influencers who I think are there right now. The problem was I had to stay in a content house. Please. Please. I'd rather kill myself. And you know how much I love Lana Del Rey. I passed up the opportunity to go on a free fucking paid for trip to Coachella. The only reason I didn't go was because I would have to stay with other influencers. And I could not do that. I literally could not do that at all. Because if I'm going to Coachella, I'm going to be drunk as fuck. Like, I'm going to be drunk as fuck. So I do not want to be around strangers. And I also don't want to be around influencers, arguably the worst people to be around drunk, because they're just trying to like fucking catch you out on shit. But anyway, dude, I could have gone to Coachella. I'm so upset about it. But anyway, I was not going to go. I remember telling my friend, I was like, if I was to go to Coachella, I would like fork the money myself rather than a company paying for me, because as well, I know that like influencer trips are a really big thing. This is the first, that's actually not true. This is the second influencer trip I've been offered. This is the first one in America I've been offered. I've been offered another one in, like it was, Lake Como, or is that what that's called, in Italy? I didn't go to that one just because, again, I had to stay with influencers that I didn't know. But anyway, this was the first one I got offered in America, and I was so excited, but then I read it, and I was like, here we go. And it was basically that all the influencers had to, like, do everything together. They had to live together. They had to eat together. They had to drink together. They had to whatever. And the entire trip premise, obviously, was these influencers going with this brand. And one of the main things that it said on there was that the influencers had to basically pretend to be in a friend group. So that then you would get the most amount of content. Like, you had to collab on everyone's videos. You had to, like, make TikToks with all these people. And I remember thinking, like, why is this brand even reaching out to me? Because I do YouTube commentary. Like, if they're all making, like, they're all big on TikTok and stuff, which is great. That content is so easy to merge with, like, Coachella. What am I going to do? Go on stream and start talking shit about Lana Del Rey or something? You know what I mean? So I passed that opportunity up, and today's a big day because while I am sitting here with you in Brighton, I had the opportunity to be waking up today and seeing Lana Del Rey in Coachella, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So anyways, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to my friend's club night, which is going to be, I'm really excited to cheer them on. And then I'm going to be coming back to my apartment, and I am going to be staying the fuck up for Lana Del Rey's set. I think it starts at like 7 a.m. UK time. I'm going to be staying up. I don't care how drunk I get tonight. I am not going to bed until I can't believe so many of you are getting quiet on set ads. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm not going to bed until I watch her set. And the reason I'm so excited for her set is because I genuinely believe she's going to announce something. I don't know what that is, because I know she already has an album. For some reason, I'm delusional enough that I feel like she's going to release an album tonight of unreleased songs. I don't think that's going to happen, but allow me to be a little bit delusional. But if anything, I just know that this will be a performance that I will watch on my TV for the rest of time, like at pre-games, at nighttime, like an hour and a half-ish of Lana Del Rey just recorded. I'm so excited. Lana live reaction. I think I would get copyright. I could do it on Twitch. I think, but I don't think anyone would watch on Twitch because I haven't gone live on Twitch in so long. But anyway. Yeah. Anyways. Could have been at Coachella today, but I would have to have pretended to be friends with influencers. And let me tell you something, if there's one thing in this world I hate, it's an influencer. So anyways, and they also weren't even like British influencers that I watch on TikTok, which isn't a problem, but they're like ones that like kind of annoy me. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be like, I'd rather not go than have to pretend to be these people's friends, because I'm like, I don't want to pretend to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend. Like, And they probably wouldn't want to be mine, which is fine. So anyways, maybe I'll set, if I go to bed drunk, there's no way I'm waking up for an alarm. Just saw a clip of Kat talking about the Drake Bell. I would love to get to that. So anyway, let me take a couple sippies. Let me welcome everyone in, and then we're going to start the rundown of the Drake Bell shit. You'll be drunk from the club. Hopefully. Actually, I might be going to the club tonight with a guy. I don't know if that will be happening. I went on a date a couple days ago with a new one. We've moved past the old one, by the way. We've moved past the old one. The old one ended. But anyway, we've moved on to a new guy. And he might be coming to the club tonight. I don't know if he will, though, because the music is not going to be his kind of taste. But anyway, if he does come, then I'm probably not going to get that drunk because I don't like being sloppy drunk in front of guys. So if he doesn't come, I'm going to be blackout drunk. If he does come, I'll just be tipsy. I'll just be tipsy. I don't like getting drunk in front of dates. Is it expensive to club in Brighton? I would say so. It's a pretty expensive place. Ditching the situationship. There was no situationship to start with that other one. He was just not interested. But this one might be. Is this the allergy guy? Yes. This is the allergy guy. Oh my god, my friend Louise is so funny. You know Louise, who we love from Paris? Oh my god, she's at the Macho Bar! Oh my god. She just texted me a picture. She's in Japan right now. And she actually invited me to go with her. But I couldn't make it. It was too late notice. She's just sent me a photo that she's in the Macho Bar. Remember I went to the Macho Bar with all the guys picking me up and stuff? Oh, damn. I wish I was there instead of Coachella, actually. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm getting insane FOMO from every angle today. Oh, God. Referring to him as the allergy guy. Yeah, he is allergic to animals. Have I ever been to Philly? I've been on the big screens at that Philadelphia fucking arena. Say hi to your grandma. Hi, Grandma. Welcome to Manchester. I feel like I'm going to get pit stains in this. I literally am already. What is it? I'm not even sweating. Is it my deodorant? Maybe it's a little bit too wet. I don't know. It's 3 a.m. in New Zealand. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so rundown on what we're going to do today before I introduce any of the videos. I don't know how much we're going to get done. All I know is that I want to get it as many of it as possible. The fact you were in Philly makes me feel sorry for you. I loved Philadelphia. I hated Baltimore. Fuck Baltimore. Baltimore, I don't think I've ever spoken in detail about like the different like experiences I had last December. Philadelphia was a little bit scary, but it was fun. I ended up waiting for Mariah outside the arena, like hoping she would come out and sign things because she did that in New York. And I was waiting there, and it was me and another couple fans, and then they ended up leaving, and I kind of sat down outside, like, on the pavement, and the amount of people that came up to me and offered me money because I was sitting on the side of the street, I was like, whoa. And then I had a couple of guys come up to me trying to start a fight. I remember that, and I was like, well, I need to go home. Hope my mom's not listening right now because she really wouldn't allow me to travel anymore if she heard the story. And then the other time was there was this guy came over and he asked me for money, and he was like, you're on the streets too. You get it. And I was like, whoa. Like I'm holding like a Mariah Carey vinyl trying to get it signed. I ended up giving him $100 to leave me alone. I was like, this is all I have. Leave me alone. Anyways, Philadelphia was a little bit scary. We stayed in a nice area in Philadelphia. So I had a good experience. I didn't get a Philly cheesesteak though, which was unfortunate. We walked around Philadelphia. The people were kind of lovely, actually. Baltimore was the worst place I have ever gone to in my entire life. Like, if I was Santa Claus, fuck those kids in Baltimore. Like, I am not going to. I will never step foot in Baltimore ever again. Baltimore, you know what's crazy about Baltimore is I stayed in the same, I've never said this online. In Baltimore, oh my God, I haven't said this online before. Wow, we're really telling everything. So I decided to go to the Baltimore show like the day or so before it. And I was in America at the time. I think I was in New York when I decided it. I got really, was I 21 by this stage? Yes, I was 21. Whew. I got so blackout drunk in America, in New York, and I booked tickets to the Baltimore show, front row, and I was like, I'm going to go. Didn't know anything about Baltimore, whatever. So I go to Baltimore on the Amtrak. Actually loved the Amtrak. Oh my God. A lot of thinking happened there. I was just looking out the window. I thought the Amtrak was a great experience, actually. But anyways, so I get off at Baltimore, and I was trying to look at hotels that were one of the main ways that my parents allow me to like solo travel to places that I don't give them any warning to is that I will tell them that I'll stay in a nice hotel. So in Baltimore, I stayed at the Four Seasons, I think it was. It was the Four Seasons Baltimore, and it was the most beautiful hotel of all time. So I checked in, and I leave my bags up in the room, and I come downstairs because the lobby's so fancy. So I'm like taking pictures and videos for my vlog. Who the fuck? Sorry, this is like crazy. Who walks in? This random man, right? Walking this dog. And I'm like, oh my God, they allow dogs in here. And then I'm like, that's Mariah Carey's dog. And then I'm like, hold on. Maybe it's just another Jack Russell. And then the guy turns around. Like, he walked in and I saw the dog. He turns around and he's wearing a Mariah Carey team jacket. And I'm like, oh my God, Mariah Carey is staying in the same hotel as me. Like, she's staying in the same hotel as me. So then I sit down in the lobby and I'm like, oh my God, is Mariah Carey going to come out? Mariah Carey didn't end up coming out. But who did was Christopher, her makeup artist, who definitely saw me sitting and probably thought I was just like a stalker who wasn't actually staying at the hotel. The thing was, I was staying at the hotel. So fuck you, Christopher. I was sitting there and he comes out and goes to the car and then this car brings in so many dresses and stuff. And I'm like, holy fuck, Mariah Carey staying at this hotel. And then right after that happens, the security closed the right-hand side of elevators off, so you can only use the left. So I'm like, oh my God, Mariah Carey's staying at the top of the hotel, which is crazy because I'm also using the right lifts. So like my room must be very near her. Like I did book a nice room. I didn't book a suite, but I did book a nice room. It was actually one of the fanciest rooms I've ever stayed at my entire life. And I was like, holy shit, like I may be on the same floor as Mariah Carey or like she's the floor above or whatever. So then I had to use the other lifts because they wouldn't allow me to whatever. Anyway, I think Mariah left through the basement because did I sit in the lobby right up until the show that I was late for the show, anticipating that Mariah was going to come out? Yeah. Did she ever? No, she probably went through the basement. So that was disappointing, but I was staying in the same hotel as Mariah Carey. And let me tell you, I felt crazy. But so the reason I'm telling you this is the hotel was lovely. Now, right after the concert, I come back and it's maybe like 1 a.m. or something at this stage. I walk out of the hotel to go to the nearest 7-Eleven and I have my earphones in. It's really dark and I'm walking for like 5 minutes outside of the hotel and there's like no street lamps. Like it was down by the marina, the hotel. There was no street lamps, which is really fucking weird. Like it was just pitch black and I felt so scared, but I was like, I need water because I was drinking at the show. And I can't go to bed and wake up with a hangover because I need to travel back to New York in the morning. So I'm walking and it's pitch black. Tell me why someone touches me on my fucking shoulder. And I swear to living Christ, I have never been so scared in my entire life. I audibly scream. I turn around. Who is it? Mariah Carey? No. It's the hotel lobby guy. The guy who was working at the hotel lobby. And so I didn't even have a reaction in the moment other than being scared because I was like, what the fuck? And he goes to me, where are you going? Because he knew I was staying because he saw me in the lobby and he saw me up to my room and stuff. I think his name was like, what was his name? Was it Frank? I don't know. Or James or something? He was lovely. And he goes, where are you going? And I go, I'm going to the nearest 7-Eleven. I need water. And he goes, no, you're not. No, you're not. He was like, let me walk you back to the hotel. And I was like, why? Is everything okay? I thought something had happened. Like, maybe this is why all the street lamps are off. And he was like, you do not walk alone in Baltimore at nighttime. And he walked me back to the hotel room, or walked me back to the hotel, and was like, what do you need? And I was like, I just need waters. And he was like, we'll send them up to your room for free. Like, don't go walking in Baltimore at night. And I remember I went back up to my hotel room and I was so shook up, but I was so grateful that he told me. No, he was a lovely man. He was a lovely man. He was a lovely man. He was helping me in that minute. And I remember going up to my hotel room and being like, how fucking scary is Baltimore that I'm in like the nicest hotel you can stay at in Baltimore by the beautiful marina, and yet it's still really unsafe to walk at night. Like, this isn't even the like scary part of Baltimore. What the fuck? So anyways, I hated Baltimore. And then the next day I did some walking around Baltimore, and it was crazy. There were like, obviously in really big cities you experience a lot of homeless, and you experience a lot of people using drugs on the street. Specifically in America, I've seen this. Specifically LA. I've seen it in New York, but not as much as LA. In Baltimore, it was a whole other level. I ended up, it just was the craziest city I've ever been in. I remember I was walking to go to a cafe, and you were walking past people that were like doing crack on the street, and they were fully naked. And it just was such a devastating, like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And it just was so, it really was. I had never seen anything like Baltimore. And I remember even down by the hotel, there were just so many needles on the street. And oh my god, the train station was covered in, oh my god, I remember I got a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which arguably is so good in theory, but then when you start drinking that fucking sugary coffee, good luck to the toilet. I remember I went to throw my shit in the bin of the train station, and you had to put your hand in it a little bit. It was one of those like push ones. Bitch, I will never do that again in my life. I went to put my fucking drink, you know, whenever you like finish it, and it was kind of heavy still, so I was making sure I put it in. I put it in the thing. Tell me why. There was a needle sticking upright I was so close to fucking jamming my hand in because I was putting my thing in a rush. I've never been so scared in my entire life, and I remember thinking, oh my god, I need to like be so much more careful. Like, again, I don't want to generalize all of Baltimore right now, but it was quite honestly like the scariest city I've ever been to. And it really is crazy considering like I stayed in the bougie area of Baltimore, and it was still awful. Like, so anyways, yeah, I nearly left Baltimore with getting fucking injected by a needle, which is crazy. There's so many stories that I have to tell you. Do you know I got spiked in LA? Like really bad. Like really, really, really bad. Kate Quigley, thank you. Baltimore is like the third most dangerous city in America. It's very dangerous, even in the nice parts I live. Ooh, well, it's your first sip. Thank you so much for joining. Do you know I got spiked in LA? And I vowed to never tell this story online. Like, it's so bad. Like, really bad. Thank God I was on a trip with my mother, and I had my mother to look after me. But I think I'll tell it in more detail eventually. But anyway, I had to like fully get checked out and fully get, you know, tested and everything. But basically, I was in WeHo, and I went out clubbing in WeHo, and I was with a few YouTubers. And by the way, people love to immediately, whenever I say going clubbing, they automatically love being like, oh, his friend Kat went and got him drunk. No, I was with YouTubers this night, actually. And I went out with a couple YouTubers and their friends, and it was kind of the VidCon weekend. And I was at this, like, one of the bars on the WeHo Strip, and I got really badly, I won't go into detail, but I got badly spiked. Badly spiked. And before I got spiked, the YouTuber and their friends went to another bar, and I went with them. And I remember I started to black out, like black out in the Uber. And I was not there at all. I was not there at all. And this is in LA, not Baltimore. And so I end up getting to the other club, and I end up telling the group that I was with, I need to leave. Like, I need to leave. I remember just stumbling. So anyways, I order an Uber on my phone to go back to the hotel to meet my mom. And keep in mind, at this stage, like, I was being a good boy on this night out. Like, I was being a good boy on this night out. Like, so my mom knew she could trust me. And this was out of my control. Getting spiked is not something you can anticipate, or is not something, it's also not your fault. So I get this Uber, and I go back to the hotel. Sorry. I go to throw up in the hotel, or in the Uber, and the guy tells me to get out of his car. So I get out of his car, and he goes, I'll wait here. What does he do? He drives on. So he drives on. I'm on the side of, like, a main road, and I remember there wasn't much that I could, like, walk, and I'm throwing up everywhere. Oh my God, I'm just so bad. I end up getting another Uber, like, 20 minutes later. At this stage, out of it, dude. I can remember exactly, like, where I was, how I was feeling, whatever. But in this moment, there was blank. Sorry, we will get to the Drake Bell thing, but I've never told this story, and it's crazy. So anyway, the other Uber comes and picks me up. I don't remember anything from this Uber, and leaves me at the hotel. And all I remember is I had VidCon the next day. Let me pull something up, because you're going to be gagged. So I had VidCon starting the next day. And so it's currently really late at night. My mom has been texting me, where are you? Where are you? She's, like, pinging my phone. She's saying that she's going to look at my location and come get me, like, whatever. And I remember texting her in the moment, being like, I'm fine, because I didn't want to worry her. So we pull up. I think we were staying at the Hollywood Roosevelt, and so we pull up on Hollywood, the Walk of Fame, and I remember I throw up all over. Whose star was it? It was someone's star that was, like, a famous person, and I threw up all over their star. And I remember getting up and taking a picture of it and being like, I'm in such bad condition right now, but if you had told me that I was going to throw up on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I would never believe you. I would never believe you. I was so blackout in that state, but I was kind of like, wait, I never thought I'd throw up on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So anyways, I'm, like, throwing up going into the hotel. Okay, I think I've found what I wanted to show you. And I stumble into the hotel, and my mom is freaking the fuck out. Like, my mother, okay, I found what I want to show you. My mother is absolutely freaking the fuck out. Because I'm, like, nonsensical. I don't remember, I remember getting into the hotel. I don't remember going into the room. And I remember trying to act as sober as possible, because I was like, I didn't fully believe that someone would spike me, but I knew that I hadn't gotten drunk, if you know what I mean. Or I hadn't taken drugs, right? So I get into the room, and I'm like, Mom, I just need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. I remember it was so late at this stage that I had to wake up for VidCon in, like, 4 or 5 hours. And the trip was for VidCon. And my mom's like, she's talking to me. She's, like, giving me water. She's whatever. Like, she didn't know what to do. She was freaking the fuck out. And I, like, lie down for a second while she's getting me water. And she goes, Adam, where's your hotel room key? How did you get in? And I go, the hotel let me in. I don't know where it is. And she goes, Adam, where is your phone? And I go, I have it. I have it. I have it. She goes, Adam, where's your phone? And she starts sternly talking to me. And I remember being so like scared in this moment because I was like, oh my God, like my mom is not taking my bullshit right now. She was like, where's your phone? Like, where is your phone right now? You don't have your keys. Where is your phone? Where have you been? Kind of thing, right? And so anyways, I then realize that I don't have my phone. And I'm like, and I can't remember anything that just happened. And if my mom was not on this trip with me, I don't know if I would have gone home. I don't know if I would have realized my phone was gone. I don't know, whatever. Like, it's one of those moments in my life that was a huge wake-up call for me to be very alert on nights out to being spiked. But if my mom was not there that night, I don't know what would have happened to me. Because I knew in that state of being spiked, I had to go home because my mom was there, but I didn't want to go home because I felt so pearly. I remember just wanting to like lie down in the middle of the fucking road. Not like that, but like that I just wanted to go sleep. So anyways, we realize that my phone's not there, and then I start like sobering up a little bit because I have to. My mom's asked me so many questions. So I had find my iPhone on my iPad that I had with me because I was filming YouTube videos, you know, like with my, like, and using videos on my iPad. And we look at find my iPhone. Where is my phone? Currently on the freeway, and it's 40, 50 minutes away from us. It was in the Uber. It was in the Uber, and he went home. And he lived way past Anaheim, which from Hollywood is over an hour away. So we're like, what the fuck? So what does my mom do? She goes, get up. We're going to the location of your phone. You know why we needed my phone? Guess what was on my phone? Our visas, both me and my mom's. Our travel documents, both me and my mom's. Our COVID passes, both me and my mom's. Our hotel checkout information. All of my debit cards were attached to my phone. All of my credit cards were attached to my phone. And my keys were stuck on the back for my apartment. Everything was in this man's car. So we then Uber to the last location of my phone, and it brings us to this really sketchy looking neighborhood. Like there was no lights in the street. It was like pitch black outside, and I can see that my phone is in one of the houses, right? And anyways, to kind of cut this story short, the house that my phone was in, we kept knocking and they kept ignoring us. And then we kept knocking, and then the neighbors were coming out and like looking at us because they thought like we were trying to break into their neighbor's house, whatever. So then the neighbors are coming up and asking us questions, and me and my mom were like, oh my fucking God. So anyway, then the neighbor answers the door, and they just completely sidetrack us. And I'm like, my phone is in there, blah, 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 blah. I walk off for a second. What do? I call the police. I call the police, and the only reason I called the police was because I just wanted someone that wasn't us to be confrontational, because they weren't giving me my stuff, because they were acting like we were inconveniencing them, which we were. So I was like, oh, fuck me. Can they do it? Keep in mind, I'm still like fucking blackout right now from whatever was put in my system. Hold on, my nose is running. Hold on. Oh my God. So anyways, the police come, fucking woo, woo, woo. Last thing I wanted to hear. Keep in mind, I'm in America, and I'm like, oh my God, like if the police start asking me questions, I've been spiked. Like that opens a whole other fucking can of worms. So I'm like, Mom, can you just take over? And she goes, like, my mom has never been so angry at me in my entire life. Like, because my mom didn't think that I got spiked. My mom thought that I lied to her and got blackout drunk. So it was only then the next day, whenever I really spoke to my mom, that she realized that I had in fact been spiked and I wasn't blackout drunk. So my mom just thought I got blackout drunk and was incredibly irresponsible. And so anyways, the police knock on the person's door, because we were able to do an alarm on my phone, so we knew it was there. And then anyways, they were allowed access into the car, and then they gave us my stuff, and then we went home. And we went to bed. And this was when my mom still thought that I was just blackout drunk and not spiked. But anyways, do you want to know how fake social media is? So we got home at maybe 8 a.m. Maybe 8 a.m. because it was so far away, right? And it took so fucking long to get an Uber. Maybe 8 a.m. we got home, right? When was my friend picking me up to go to Anaheim for VidCon? 10 a.m. So I've been spiked. I go to bed at like 8:30 a.m. What time do I wake up at? 9:30. So I wake up at 9:30 a.m. and I feel awful. Like I'm throwing up. I can barely move my left leg. Like my left leg is so bad. And so right before I the reason I had to wake up early was because me and my mom went to the local, what was it called? It wasn't necessarily the hospital, but we went to a local place to, I can't even remember. I literally cannot even remember. They did something. They did some sort of like health check, and then they like gave me the all clear. And they were like, you just got like, I think they just said that I got like the date rape or something like that. Which made sense because the next day I couldn't feel my legs. So I got date raped, drugged. And so anyways, we had to wake up a little bit early so I could go to that. So I go to that, come back to the hotel room, don't even shower. So I'm like just covered in like nasty, like throw up and stuff. Yeah, it was like an urgent care. Like it fucking just, I'm like gross. I feel gross. I get back to the hotel room, don't have time to shower. Beep, beep. Who's outside? My friend Kat. She's like, how was your night? How was your night? Did you have a good night? She goes, are you okay? You look kind of bad right now. And then I go to VidCon on 1 hour of fucking sleep. And here we go. This was me. This was me that next day. Social media is so fake. Is so fake. This was me merely hours after all that. You know my left leg in this photo? Can't feel it. I was walking around VidCon this day with the support of my friends. With the support of my friends. I was so violently ill. And anyways, this ended up being the longest day of my entire life. So I'm on no sleep, right? Who do I meet this night? James Charles and Brittany Broski at like 4 a.m. the next day. It was the longest day of my entire life. Here we see me and my friend Kat. Here I am, just feeling my leg, just to make sure it's still there. Anyways, where was I? Okay. Then I go out partying that night because it was the VidCon party and I wasn't going to pass that up. Meet Brittany Broski, by the way, just completely exhausted in this photo. And then I see James Charles. It was the most, and I went to my first red carpet that night. Yeah. So this is now 24 hours after I've been spiked. I've had no sleep. My friend Kat is so worried about me. And she was my support system this entire day, making sure I was so safe. She didn't know what the fuck had happened to me. It was just the most bizarre 24 hours of my entire life. It was so scary. It was so scary. It was so scary. Anyway, I've never told that story online. It's a story I love telling. Why are you complaining? Nicole, please. Nicole, please. Fuck you. Anyways, I've always wanted to tell that story. Anyways, let's get into the topics because that was a crazy introduction. Was it the Abbey? It wasn't the Abbey, and I'm not gonna say the name of the place because I don't know how responsible or not they are. Anyways, can't believe I told that story. I feel like that's like been one of my like big secret stories that I've kept from you. I have so many stories from LA that I can like now say, but that's probably the biggest one. I've never been spiked in my life before that. And let me tell you something. That entire day at VidCon, oh, my legs were jelly. My legs were jelly. Anyways, thank living Christ that my mother was there on that trip. She was my absolute support system and just when I got in a bad situation kept me safe, and she was so worried about me and I stressed her out to fuck on that trip. Sorry, mommy. And then we went to Disneyland the next day. Yeah, we went to Disneyland the next day and I was happy as can be. I went to bed and you know what? And I slayed at Disney. It was my friend Kat's birthday. Loved it. And then I came home the next day and met Selena Gomez. Oh my God. What a life. What a life. Okay, let's start with the Drake Bell stuff. Sorry, we've been live for almost an hour and I haven't done anything productive. But I have told you a story I've been keeping a secret for a very long time. Not many people in my life know that story. Only my family and like my close friends know that story because I'm so embarrassed by it. I'm so embarrassed by that story. Oh my God. Because I don't know when I got spiked. And I just caused such an inconvenience in everyone else's life for like 24 hours after being spiked. And I ruined my VidCon by being spiked. And I just don't even know when it, like, if I had gotten blackout drunk, then I could blame myself. But like, I'm like, damn, it's pretty crazy though. Anyways, that is a story that I've been keeping a secret for a while. But anyway, I think about it all the time and I'm like, it really changed the way I go out now because I remember thinking like, who did that to me? Like what? Anyways, we'll not get into that. But I just remember thinking like who was it? Like, what did you necessarily want? Like, I don't know, but yeah, I definitely ruined a couple people in my life's day for like 24 hours after being spiked. So sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, I remember like me and Kat were so excited to go to VidCon, and then I ruined it. By like her having to like babysit me all day because I was so sick, and then I had like my mom was super tired the next day because I'd obviously kept her awake. So I just felt so bad. I felt so bad, and then I thought about it, and I was like this happens to people on a more extreme level, and it's like, yeah, it's crazy. Sorry, there's fucking feathers all over my fucking nose. So anyways, thank you, Alex. All right, let's get into the topics. Okay. Move your body, girl. I have told you what we're doing today. All right. Should we get into it? Thank you, Crystal. Finally catch you live. Well, good to see you. Good to see you. Brat, thank you. And yeah, again, if I can say anything, it'll be to just be very careful of your surroundings and your drinks, and always ask for a drink cover. Kayla, don't worry if you cannot. This, I understand that this topic will be very triggering for a lot of people with Drake Bell. So feel free to leave if this will be too much for you. And if you decide you want to watch it, I'll re-upload it later. But yeah, be easy with yourself, everyone. But we're going to get into it right now. And then if not, we'll be back What day's tomorrow? Tomorrow with a different stream. Okay, I'll do last thing. Hi, Sage. A lot of people ask, they're missing some lore. Why is Adam streaming on here and not Twitch? Two things. My Twitch contract is up. So I don't necessarily exclusively have to stream over there anymore, which is what I did. And then number two, people have to pay more money to watch me on Twitch. Like, you have to pay me per month to watch me on Twitch. Versus on YouTube, you just get ads, which I'm very aware that they're very annoying. Don't worry. Kayla, I will see you. Thank you for being here, though. Thank you for being here. Move your body, girl. Okay, these fucking feathers or whatever the fuck it is on my nose is pissing me off. They're just like spawning. Queen, come true. Move out the way. I'm with my girls and we all need space. By the way, I'm very excited to do the video with my friend. Every question is about situationships. Every video is about, or every comment is about situationships. Anyway, let's get into this. Okay. How do I like? Oof. Rough. Okay. Hi, muckers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very, very, very well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so we are going to be getting into a little bit of Drake Bell lore today. Now, I wanted to do this because I made a video a couple days ago talking about the fact that Drake Bell is obviously very much so in the news right now with the Quiet on Set documentary, and that's great. He's being heard on his stories of his trauma from his childhood, and I think that that is very important. I think one thing that I've kind of been side-eyeing is that a lot of people are using Drake Bell being kind of, you know, being lifted up right now as a way of disregarding the fact that Drake Bell also has a lot of allegations against him. He's also pled guilty to things, and I just think it's important to play and show both sides. And the reason I really want to do this is because it has been very known on social media right now that the people that have accused Drake Bell of things, and also things he has pled guilty to, are getting very much so attacked on social media right now. And I just think it's important to kind of raise their stories up again and also realize that two things can be true at once. Drake Bell could have been, you know, things could have happened to him as a child, and then he could have also done things to children as well. So anyways, I want to get to this article. It's called The Dark Downfall of Nickelodeon's Wholesome Wunderkind. Is that German? It's probably not supposed to be pronounced like that. Wunderkind. Yes. Yeah. Inside the many sordid scandals that blew apart Drake Bell's once bright career. Wunderkind. I love that. How is that pronounced? Wunderkind.
Wunderkind. Wunderkind.
Wunderkind. From multiple DEIs to child endangerment and allegations of abuse. All right. When Drake Bell first burst onto the screens as Nickelodeon's next big thing, he had all the makings of a Hollywood leading man: charm, quick wit, a wholesome image, and a dazzling smile that quickly earned him a legion of young admirers in the world all over. For a time, it seemed as though the teen star was set to achieve the impossible by skirting the curse of the doomed Hollywood child actor and making a smooth transition into larger, more serious roles while also forging a successful music career. But within a few years of Drake and Josh's finale in 2007, cracks began to show in the actor's once innocent image as he desperately struggled to tread the murky waters of the film and TV industry, both professionally and personally. The first hammer blow to his reputation came within 10 years of his exit from Nickelodeon, when it was revealed that Drake, now 36, had blown through the vast fortune he earned from the kids' show, racking up more than $1.5 million in debt. Crazy. His financial woes marked something of a desperate downward turning point for the star, who had blighted by scandal after scandal in the years since, with his controversies and legal woes now completely overshadowing what once looked like a bright future. All right, so it goes. So how did he go from a massive star to bankrupt and washed up actor whose once bright career has been sullified by controversy again and again? While his money troubles were the first major sign of troubles in his life, they were by no means the last. In the years following his Nick days, he was arrested twice for drinking under the influence. Okay, so he was 2 DUIs. He was accused of physical and verbal abuse by 2 DUIs and 2 accusations of physical and verbal abuse by the 2 ex-girlfriends. And he was charged for sending inappropriate messages to a 15-year-old when he was 31. Okay, so let's recap. He got 2 DUIs. He has 2 ex-girlfriends accusing him of physical and verbal abuse. And then he was charged for sending inappropriate messages to a 15-year-old whenever he was 31. Now, by the way, we can read that and just take that in, right? Can we pause a second? 31 years old, 31, sending inappropriate messages to a 15-year-old. Okay. 31 sending it to a 15-year-old. Now, again, it's very easy to just read that and move past it. Okay? DUI isn't the same. Drinking under the influence. DUI and drinking under the influence are not the same thing. I guess that can be like drugs or something, right? Well, anyways, so he has 2 arrests for drinking under the influence, 2 ex-girlfriends accusing him of physical and verbal abuse, and then he was charged for sending inappropriate messages. All right. God, my nose is like so itchy today. Oh my God. He also became known for his many furious outbursts, and he got entangled in a slew of social media feuds with celebrities like Justin Bieber and even Josh Peck, his, Drake and Josh. Despite his many controversies, Drake continued to try and reignite his career, unsuccessfully. He eventually gave up on acting and instead pursued music, releasing a series of albums over the years, and he even tried to rebrand himself by changing his name and singing in Spanish. Now, again, it's driving under the influence. Wait, drinking under the... Sorry, it just clicked. Drinking under the influence. Yeah, that's normally what you do. Sorry, that was such a blonde moment of me. Don't worry, the blonde hair is still under here somewhere. Okay, anyways. That was crazy. Skyla goes, he probably does have DUIs as well. Hold on, let me give the girls a treat right now. I hear Dolly. 1 second, let me give them a treat. Sorry, that was such a blonde moment of me. My bad. Here you go. Good girls. Good girls. Good girls. Do you want to lie down there? Yes, whatever. All right. See you in a second. See you in a second. Love you. They're so easy. You just have to give them a treat. So easy. Anyways. All right. So anyways, yeah, the blonde hair is still here underneath, guys. Wait, my camera moved a little bit. Hello. Hey, girl. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. 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 Emergency. Emergency. Let me... I feel like I'm vlogging right now. Okay, this has just like drastically changed the angle. What does the mane look like? Oh, you just don't see under anymore. I'm hoping that my camera doesn't fall because this room is so, like, this is my clutter room with all my boxes and stuff, and I would just... Please, I would hate for you to see that. So anyways, what a chaotic start to this video. All right, so moving on. He eventually rebranded as, like, a Spanish singer. I kind of want this to be lower, to be fair. Sorry, can you give me a moment? Wait. Huh. This feels so intimate. Okay, this is the best we're gonna get. All right, fine, whatever. You win. Oh. All right, fuck me. So, anyways, he rebranded as the Spanish singer, as we're all aware of. And again, one of the big reasons that he rebranded as the Spanish singer was because he had all of these accusations. Sorry, I'm so scared of my camera right now. Oh my God, people are calling this my Peter Mon moment. That's really funny, actually. Okay, I'm just going to hope and pray. So the reason that he rebranded as the Spanish singer was because he was trying so desperately to change this idea that people were calling Drake Bell a predator. And again, it was just like, he did it as a distraction. So whenever people think about him being Spanish and rebranding and stuff, a lot of people will automatically be like, oh, he did that as like a ploy. Even so, Drake has continued to make headlines for all the wrong reasons, though. Most recently, he was put in the hot seat again after he was declared missing and endangered by the police on Thursday morning. Law enforcement issued a plea for help in looking for the star via Facebook, but authorities confirmed he was found safe hours later, so he's just like going missing. The shocking incident is the latest in Drake's long list of troubling endeavors since he parted ways with Nickelodeon. As the Drake and Bell alum faces controversy once again thanks to his erratic behavior, Female went ahead and recapped his wild journey from start to finish. From him pleading guilty to decimating matter harmful to juveniles, to claims that he threw his girlfriends down the stairs. Here's a complete breakdown of his many scandals. So before y'all start being Drake Bell fans, let's talk about this. He was born June 27th, 1986. He started acting when he was only 5. Here he is, his baby. He did commercials. He appeared in advertisements. Here he is on Seinfeld. All right. So basically, he did a bunch of movies. Then he did The Amanda Show. God, I loved The Amanda Show. The Amanda Show was like, it was one of the first shows I watched on Nickelodeon. It was more so my brother's generation. Oh, I loved The Amanda Show. I just loved Amanda Bynes so much. I thought she was so quirky. I thought she was so fun. Oh my God, and the mom in Drake and Josh was so cunty. Like, she was so cunty. But anyway, I loved The Amanda Show. I thought it was so fun. Yeah, I really did. Anyways. So then he did Drake and Josh. I loved Drake and Josh. So good. So good. Drake and Josh, such a good show. Me and my brothers used to just watch it all the time. Like, every Friday, we would get a chippy, like a takeaway. And me and my mom and dad would go into the living room and watch TV, and it was always so boring. So me and my brothers would load up like illegal copies of Drake and Josh on like these like dodgy websites, and we would just watch it together. So I have a lot of good memories of Drake and Josh. But anyway, he's still weird. After that, he was cast in Drake and Josh, and then he was in a bunch of like different commercials and movies, but he basically struggled to land any acting after all of that, and acting slowed down after he did like a superhero movie in 2008. And he basically did like little things here and there during the 2010s. But then when his career started falling flat, he blew through his money he made and eventually, like we said, got more than $1.5 million in debt, and he cut ties with all his former friends. And this was him seen in 2012 when he was sued by a music producer who claimed he wasn't paid the right amount of work for his album, so he's getting sued as well. And then he had filed for bankruptcy after, the 1.5 million. So as his work life crumbled, so did his personal life. The trouble began in 2012 when he was sued by John Fields, the producer on one of his albums. John alleged that Drake had commissioned 9 of the songs, but only gave him money for 5, which meant he owed him $36,000. A judge ruled in John's favor and ordered Drake to pay him money along with, the interest and attorney fees. Between that and lack of work, Drake struggled to make ends meet and ultimately blew through the rest of his money. And in 2014, he had filed for bankruptcy. Here we see him and Josh Peck. Josh Peck, the most unemployed man in Hollywood. Oh my God, please get off TikTok. So anyways, Drake also pushed away the friends he made in Drake and Josh, and he had a big public falling out with Josh Peck in 2017. They used to just talk shit about each other online, which is really funny, actually. And then Drake was furious that Josh Peck didn't invite him to the wedding, but they did reunite a couple months later, and they hugged. So all's well and ends well. All right. So, according to court documents obtained by People, he confessed to spending about $18,000 per month, despite only bringing in around $2,000. As a result of the filing, his mansion was then under foreclosure, which I haven't heard that word since the Ace family. On top of losing the fortune, he pushed away all his friends at the time. And basically, this is then talking about the Josh Peck falling out. So, in December 2015, the actor was arrested for driving under the influence after someone saw him swerving and speeding in Glendale, California. He spent 1 day in prison. So, this was his first arrest. And then in August 2020, the Nickelodeon star was thrown in the hot seat once again when his ex-girlfriend, Melissa Lingefeld, here they are in 2007, accused him of verbal and physical abuse. And then we have that she claimed in a video shared to her TikTok account that when they started dating in 2006, when she was only 16 and he was 20, which, by the way, is a problem within itself. And if you don't see that as a problem, I don't really know what to tell you. Do I need to say anything on that? If you cannot see that there is a problem with a 20-year-old dating a 16-year-old, I don't know what to tell you. Like, within itself, I'm on her side. Why as a 20-year-old man are you dating a 16-year-old girl? Are you going to her sweet 16? You're about to be 21. You're going to her sweet 16 birthday party? There's something very wrong with that. Point blank, period, end of story. Anyways, so he was dating a 16-year-old when he was 20. So basically, the money issues were overshadowed because in December 2015, the actor was arrested for driving under the influence in California. He pled guilty and was sentenced to 4 days in jail and 4 years probation and was required to attend an alcohol education program. He ultimately served only 1 day behind bars and was released on good behavior. So apparently he was a great student for that 1 day in prison. At the time, it had been brought to light that he had actually been arrested once before that. Oh, okay, so he was arrested before that. For another DUI in San Diego in 2009, but there was little known about the incident. In August 2020, the former Nickelodeon star was, in the hot seat when Melissa Lingefeld, his ex-girlfriend, accused him of verbal and physical abuse. So she said that it wasn't until a year into the relationship when the verbal abuse started, she said, and she says, it then turned physical, hitting, throwing everything at the pinnacle of it. He threw me down the stairs of the house. So here we're seeing that Drake denied the allegations, but Melissa shared an alleged police report as well as several journal entries detailing the abuse, which were seemingly written during their relationship. And she shared these on TikTok, and these were huge on TikTok. It was like journal entries on what he was doing to her in the moment. She also posted a message that she claimed she received from another one of the exes, Peyton Lane. And when I say verbal abuse, imagine the worst type of verbal abuse you could ever imagine. That was what I got. And that's whenever he started hitting, throwing everything at the pinnacle. He was throwing me down the stairs. My face hit every step on the way down. I have photos of this, she said. In a statement to People, Drake responded and said he never abused an ex-girlfriend, and that everything is false that has been claimed on TikTok. As our relationship ended more than a decade ago, we unfortunately both called each other terrible names, as often as when couples do when they're breaking up, was his justification of it. He says, well, all couples call each other bad names. Well, if it's true, not all couples throw each other down the stairs, but, I mean, what do I know? What do I know? Clearly, Melissa still felt close to me just last year, that she was comfortable reaching out to me to provide her with financial support during a tough time, which I did. I do not know if today's behavior is some kind of misguided quest for more money or attention, but I cannot and will not allow these offensive and defamatory allegations to go unchallenged, and I am reviewing my legal options. So Drake eventually pled guilty to the charges. So after all that, he eventually pled guilty and was sentenced to 2 years probation and 200 hours of community service. Drake spoke about the incident in detail, calling his messages to the teen reckless and irresponsible. So this was whenever he was... Oh, I haven't seen this before. Oh, we have to watch an ad first. Okay, I want to hear what he has to say about this. This is obviously whenever he was sending inappropriate messages to the 15-year-old. Great, let's hear what he has to say. Sure, this is going to be fucking wonderful. Yes, Diva. Yes. Oh my god, the green screen is crazy. What is the budget on this? Okay.
I'm Drake Bell, not Drake Campana. Soy Drake Bell.
Drake Campana? Oh, because of his Spanish era. Hey, it's Drake Bell, not Drake Campana. Yes.
Hi, I'm Drake Bell, not Drake Campana. Soy Drake Bell, yo no soy Drake Campana. A lot of the news that you've been hearing, well, most of the news that you've heard recently is
The Spanish subtitles is going crazy right now.
entirely false and wrong. And I feel that you deserve and I owe you an explanation. I didn't change my name. Although I love and would love to, I've never moved to Mexico. I've never been a resident or a citizen of Mexico. I don't have a Mexican passport. I didn't get arrested. I didn't go to jail. I know that this has moved very quickly for you, but for me, it's been a 3-year thorough investigation into every false claim that has been made. And it's not me telling you that the claims are false, but the state of Ohio has proven the claims to be false. If these claims were remotely true, my situation would be very different. I would not be here at home with my wife and my son. But that being said, I'm not perfect, and
Don't you love when people get accused of sending minors like explicit messages and they go, but I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect either. I don't fucking sex kids.
I made mistakes. I responded to a fan whose age I didn't know. Yet when I became aware of their age, all conversation and communication stopped. And this individual continued to come to shows and pay for meet and greets, and all while I was unaware that this was the same person I was communicating with online. And that's what I pled guilty to. It was reckless and irresponsible text messages. I want to make clear.
Wait, that's so crazy. He went, none of this happened. And then he goes, I have made mistakes. I'm not perfect. So that's why I pled guilty. So you did it. So you did it. He goes, I'm not perfect. Blah, 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 blah. So that's why I pled guilty. Okay.
There were no sexual images, nothing physical between me and this individual. I was not charged with anything physical. I was not charged with disseminating of photographs or images or anything like that. This is strictly over text messages. And when I was presented with a plea deal, because of the messages, I felt that it was the best way to get this over quickly and for everybody involved to be.
I'm going to be honest. If I'm being accused of sexting kids, I don't care what's the easiest way out. I want it to be known that I didn't do it. I'm not pleading guilty if I haven't done it.
Move on, and for me to get back to doing what I love, and that's making music for you. And I want to thank you for
bien, Drake Campana.
who saw through the lies and did their research and looked at my case and saw it for what it was instead of through all of this media confusion. Don't believe the media right off the bat. It's a lot of clickbait. Do your own research and come to your own conclusions. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. I want to for sticking by me.
Bien, Drake Campana. How do you say I love? J'adore. No, that is French. How do you say I love in Spanish? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien. Wow, I don't really know that much Spanish. Di que sientes cuando pienso en ti. Una y otra vez, cada instante, si me siento ni. Mi mundo está al revés. I don't know if any of that is accurate. Te amo, Drake Campana. Te amo, Drake Campana. Te amo. Amo. Te amo, Drake Campana. Anyways. In response to his denial, Melissa shared an alleged police report as well as several of her journal entries. She posted photos of herself with bruises and scars that she said came from Drake, as well as a message she claimed she had received from another one of the exes, actress Peyton Lane. Peyton, who dated him from 2011 to 2016, allegedly told Melissa, "I'll stand by your side and back you up as I went through the same horrific verbal, physical, and mental abuse." Someone just knocked on my door. Oh no, it was me doing this to my mic. In 2021, Drake was arrested in Ohio, the state that he loves so much, and charged with attempted endangerment of a child, as well as one count of decimating matter harmful to juveniles, which he said that he didn't do, by the way. At the time, law enforcement officials claimed he had sent a 15-year-old minor inappropriate social media messages in 2017 when he was 31 years old. The victim claimed that he performed... The victim claimed he had performed oral sex on her while she was backstage at one of his concerts in December of that year, which he denied. He was calculating, he preyed on me, and he sexually abused me. His victim, who kept her identity hidden for privacy reasons, said during the trial, "He's a monster and a danger to children." Drake eventually pled guilty to both charges and was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service. At the sentence hearing, a judge told the Drake and Josh alumni that he took advantage of the young girl. So him saying, well, this is a matter of the court, not a matter of me. Well, the court aren't on your side either. Took advantage of the young girl because she did not have the emotional or mental maturity to properly engage with him. Your position and celebrity status enabled you to nurture this relationship, the judge said. You were able to gain access to this child and you were able to gain the trust of the child. It's a two-edged sword, your position. I hope you are truly remorseful. In a video shared to Instagram afterwards, Drake spoke out about the incident in detail, calling his messages to the teen reckless and irresponsible, and admitting, "I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Me when I sext kids. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes." However, he said that most of the news you've heard about recently was entirely false or wrong. Oh, okay, please. And insisted that he stopped communicating with her after he learned her age. But you'd already done everything. Sorry, if you're having sex or sexting a child, you're aware that it's a fucking child. Don't start that bullshit. There are so many of these people that try to get away with this by being like, well, I didn't know your age. That is a child. You don't know when you're sleeping with a 30-year-old versus a fucking 14-year-old? Bullshit. Fuck off. Stupid. And so many people use that. It was only when I learned about her age. This is strictly over text message, and when I was presented with a plea deal, because of the messages, it was the best way to get this over with quickly, to be able to move on and get back to doing my music. So here we see his Mexican passport, where he relocated to the country and changed his last name to Campana. Drake Campana, te amo, Drake Campana. Sorry, it's crazy to me that, like, in different places in the world, like, you have to put, like, your height and weight on your passport. All right. So he dropped Spanish music and relocated and fucking did all that bullshit. Anyways, and then this is talking about his life. Now we really don't give a shit. Anyways, so basically what I want to focus on is that Drake Bell is not a great person. So because he's on this quiet on set and he's speaking about things that have happened to him, you can listen to that and hear him, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't make him a good person, or it doesn't take away from the fact that he's also done things to other people. Okay. Right. Perfect. All right. I want to fix this fucking camera. How are we all doing? The audio is cutting out for me. Hold on, I want to play some music while I fix my camera right now. I actually love doing streams during the daytime. I'm trying to find music that is copyright free. Copyright music. God, they're always just so bad, aren't they? This is 100% copyright free. Well, why is it claimed then? I want copyright free music, please. Okay. Can I use this without getting copyright free house music? All right. Let me fix the camera. I missed the echo. Fuck off. Oh my god.
I was born to be free.
No way, this song's over already.
I was born to be
Oh, no, it's not.
free.
Goofy ass music. Do you not like it? I'll change it. Is this better? What is this song? Just like a little bit. Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get crazy. You see anything you want to see. You can be anything you want to be. Waiting for the weekend when all our dreams come true.
TJ Maxx vibes is crazy. Here I'm trying to give you a fucking show. Alright, this will be better than what we had, first of all. I think. It'll do, it'll do, it'll do. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. The corporate, you have a UTI? Sorry to hear that. Can we all get some love for Liv in the chat and her UTI? Oh! Oh! Can we get some love for Steph, who's chlamydia? Shout out to the chlamydias in the chat. Woo! Hope that clears up for you. I feel like I'm a radio presenter. Oh, I do love a little bit of a music break. I miss on Twitch when we could do this with actual good music. Let's give some more shoutouts. Yeah, shout out to UTI Live. Shout out to Grayson. Is that Gracian Young, 36 weeks pregnant? Pop that shit out quick. Shout out to Purple Pleader, who's IBS. Hope that toilet's not too crazy today. Shout out to Riplu Strats Grandma. Shout out to my BPD people. Thanks to 2-hour drive. Have fun. Shout out to the depressed people and the gays. Same thing. Shout out to my autistic people. My epileptic people as well. Yes, a lot of BPD people in the chat. Can't forget the OCD people. Couple schizophrenic people in the chat. Hope you're doing well as well. Dyslexic people, can't forget about y'all. Quick, spell the word. You got your first tattoo today? Shout out to you. Shout out to my social anxiety people. I kind of feel bad for you. That's a Wendy Williams reference, by the way. A lot of autistic people in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. A lot of bipolar people too. Quite a few lesbians too. Yes, shout out to the PTSD people. Hope you're doing okay today. Autoimmune disease people. Quite a lot of PTSD in the chat tonight. So many autistic people. Shout out. Shout out to my trans folk. Yeah, shout out to my arthritis people. Quick, give us the splits. That was so fun. I want to do this for one more song. Rose Toy over. Day, not just this moment. Shout out to the single people. Shout out to the MILFs. If I do any more, I'm gonna fucking... Oof. I am sweating. That was crazy. That was crazy. Oh my god. That was crazy. I had so much fun doing that though. I felt like, you know, one of those people, it's like going once, going twice, going once, going twice, going once, going twice. Winded myself. My god. I'm sweating. Whew. My god. You got cheated on? Shout out to the people that get cheated on. Sorry, it sounds so bad with like the music. Oh my god. I have winded myself. That was most energy I've done in a while. I wonder who I gave a shout out to. I'll need to go back and revisit that soon. All right. Anyways, so we did that Drake Bell thing. Wunderkind. Wunderkind. All right. What do I want to do next? I have two things I want to do. Okay. I'm so sick of running as fast as I can. Okay, I'm going to let you choose what we do next. First, we can either watch this, which is Matt Bernstein and Kat Tembarge talking about Drake Bell and the cycle of abuse, or we can watch Drake Bell's interview talking about the quiet on set and his trauma and his truth. I will let you choose. I love how glitchy my camera's being right now. I will let you choose which one we do. Matt and Kat. Drake Bell and the cycle of abuse. Or Drake Bell speaking about the quiet on set. What do you want to do first? Karma's a bitch. I should have known better. Yippee! That's better. All right, I'm going to do a poll, actually. Poll. Okay. Go vote. Which should we do first? Kat and Matt talking about Drake Bell's accusations and the cycle of abuse, or Drake Bell talking about his abuse? What do you want to do first? This is not quiet on set, by the way. Just to clear that up. This is him talking about quiet on set. Whereas this one is talking about Drake's allegations. Karma's a bitch. I should have known better if I had a wish. Is that the words? Sorry, over 1,000 people watching. And only 600 likes. Sure. Maybe I'm not appreciated during this lifetime, but maybe another generation of youth will appreciate my great skills. That's fine. I didn't even want you to like the live stream anyway. Great news, guys. Great news. Just got a text from the sexual clinic I go to for my 6-month checkups. I don't have chlamydia. Wait, what do I not have? Let me click the link. I didn't think I did, but I just do the test every 6 months. Don't have chlamydia. Don't have gonorrhea. Don't have any general STDs and don't have HIV. Woohoo! I'm a clean boy. Actually, that's not the right thing to say. I take that back. You can have all those things and still be clean. I take that back. However, for right now, I do not have any of the following. I actually fed into the stigma there. Because you can have HIV and the word clean. Sorry, I just went so woke there. But no, I'd actually spoken to someone. They said that to me. I said that once and they were like, don't say that word. Don't say clean in relation to that. So I take that back. However, I don't have any of the following. Yippee! Shots. Everybody! I love that I'm like, oh my god, I don't have any STDs or I don't have gonorrhea or chlamydia. How many people have I slept with within the past 6 months? One. Y'all think I get crazy. I don't. Oh, God. Okay, what won the poll? Karma's a bitch. I should have known better if I had a wish. Adam, I got so drunk the other day, I still feel hangover. Well, cheers. You need to do a virginity, like losing your virginity story time. No. I would love to get a slime board. Well, if you did it something, you know who gave it to you. Mm-hmm. I also test after every partner. Just for funsies. I actually hate the process of testing. I hate the finger prick. Please do the rice purity test. I can't do that on here. That's like too much. That's like too much. I might do it, but I'm not going to let you read it. Hold on. How long is it? Rice purity test. Karma's a bitch. How many questions? Okay, so you tick what you've done. Okay, rice purity test. This is not a bucket list. Click on every item you've done. Held hands romantically. Being on a date. Being in a relationship. Does a situationship count? Does a situationship count? Does that count? I feel like I could knock this test out quick. Does a situationship count? Quick, does a situationship count? Does a situationship of 4 months count? People are saying yes. Danced without leaving room for Jesus, please. Okay, I need to stop reading these out because they're quite intense. French kissed in public. Kissed on the neck. Kissed horizontally. What does that mean? What does that mean? What's horizontal? Horizontal. Kiss laying down. All right. Please. Hickey. Have you ever been kissed on the breast? Sorry, I'm currently filling this out as quick as possible. I've never showered with someone. That feels weird. Some of these questions, have you ever had your... Okay, I'm halfway through it. I haven't gone skinny dipping. I would love to. I have seen a stripper. I have had the police called on me. I have ran from the police. I've had them question me. I haven't had them handcuff me. Haven't been arrested. No crime, no felony. Committed an act of vandalism. No. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. Join the Mile High Club. I travel alone. What is voyeurism? What is voyeurism? I don't know what that is. Had a pregnancy scare? I haven't actually. Adam hasn't done vandalism yet. Participated in a booty call. Okay, I'm almost done. Watching. Oh. No. Okay, I'm done. That was actually really quick. Okay, calculate my score. Okay, I don't know what my score means. I don't know what this means. Is this good or bad? I don't know what the number means. Is this good or bad? Wait, people are saying... Oh, someone said you're a body. Oh. Okay. Oh, is the higher the number, the more innocent you are? Oh. Oh, I get the game. I get the game. I get the game. Well, you know, this could be lower. Oh, right. All right, well, wish I knew what that meant before I showed it on the screen. Okay. 0 is experienced. Okay. Adam was a bad girl and he did some bad things. Okay. You've lived and that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate your beautiful outlook on life. All right, we'll do the Drake Bell interview. Let me just load this up. Karma's a bitch. I should have known better. Sorry, there was some on there that if you're getting 0, you're like fucked up. Like there's something wrong with you if you're getting like 0 on that, to be fair. Oh my god, everyone's making fun of 32. Please. I thought this was a safe space. I thought this was a safe space. JoJo's is 98 for kissing a girl. All right. Do I want to pee before this? I'm actually going to pee before this and let the dogs out to pee because this is a long interview. So are we good with that? And then we're going to start this. Right? Okay. Let me go pee. Right. 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 It's shocking how glamorous my life is. Do you want to know what I just was spending my time doing? Dolly decided to have explosive diarrhea. So sorry the bathroom break took a while. Did I end up going to the bathroom? No, I was gone too long. But thank you, Dolly, for that. My life is so glamorous. Wait, I've just been invited to something. I got invited on another brand trip. Let's read. To Brighton? No, I already live here. Boring. Please. Anyways, let's start the interview. Someone said, it's all good. We were talking amongst ourselves. I love your attitude. It's very beautiful. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. You said your fourth eye's opening. It's not your third. Shout out to the diarrhea girls. Shout out to Bonnie or Dolly. Dolly had a little bit of IBS today. Shout out to the IBS girlies. I kind of feel bad for you. All right, let's do this Drake Bell interview. I'm gonna put this on 1.5x speed, and we're gonna put captions on. Let's turn this fucking music off. Oh, was everyone doing their test? Well, clearly it's not a safe space to show our answers. Yeah, the brand trip is literally just next door. All right, let's do it. Let me figure out.
What's going on? Yeah.
Can I ask you a different question then?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Oh, this is too quick. All right, let's do it. Hi, muckers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we've been doing a little bit of a deep dive into Drake Bell, and I saw this interview with him, which is called Breaking Free, Drake Bell Talks Trauma and His Truth. And it's from the podcast, We Are Man Enough. Now, if there's one thing I think this world needs less, is less podcasts by men. But that's just me. We're going to listen to it, go through it. We've been hearing Drake Bell coming forward with what he's been through. I think we've extensively looked at what Drake Bell's been accused of. I still haven't seen The Quiet on Set because it's very hard to find it in the UK. So this is going to be my first time really hearing Drake Bell open up. So let's get to it. I will link this podcast down below. I'm going to watch this for fair use commentary purposes. I'm going to put captions on. I'm going to speed it up to 1.25. And let's get to it.
What are you feeling right now?
A lot of anxiety. It's a really emotional time right now, and I feel like it's an emotional roller coaster. You know, I mean, like I said, it's moment, you know, moment by moment, and there's like waves of anxiety and then waves of tranquility, and like a weight's been lifted, and then back to anxiety. It's
And right
a
now,
roller coaster.
like literally right now.
Right now?
Yeah. Let's simplify. Let's just simplify everything.
Right now, I feel my phone vibrating.
He goes, right now, in this moment, I feel my Rose toy going crazy.
No, sorry.
Must
I
be
always
happening a lot.
have to go to like when things get a little like I always have to grab the low-hanging fruit of a joke to kind of
Oh, that was a joke? I thought his phone was actually...
but right now I feel like in this moment sitting at this table, a little anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got 3 people that have probably a lot of questions in their
Yeah.
minds, and
Can I?
how to
Yeah. Thank you though. Thank you for.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you for.
yeah.
Yeah. I
can understand why you're feeling that. So for those who are listening, let me just, if you don't mind, let me set the stage a little bit, because I
Yeah.
think there's many that may not know. You are right now, currently, there is a show on Max called Quiet on the Set, which is about things that were happening on the Nickelodeon show behind the scenes, inappropriate behavior towards children. And you are a big part of this story. As Liz had mentioned in our opening, you were molested, raped, abused by an adult for a good portion of your teenage life. You acknowledged it then, not at first, you were trapped, as you say, but eventually acknowledged it to the point that that individual was then convicted. Your testimony, your history had been corroborated and acknowledged that this in fact was true. Of course it was. Now, a lot has happened since then. Now, for the first time, because it was sealed and you were a minor.
I was about to say it's also important to note that for Drake Bell, many of these allegations that he put towards, was it Brian Peck, I think it was? A lot of them have been public knowledge for a very long time, but Drake Bell was never specifically named in them. So they have been public for quite some time. But again, Drake Bell was never like attached to them. And we heard of all the celebrities that went to the courtroom to, give letters of support for the person that Drake Bell was accusing. So I can't imagine that. I can't imagine speaking up about something that happened to you and then all these celebrities show up in the courtroom like against you. Like
It's becoming known that the person that was convicted was as a result of what happened to you.
Yeah.
So you are in the line of fire right now.
Yeah.
Your every move and every day right now is fresh wounds. And from what I understand, as someone, I won't get into my whole story on this, but just so that people know that I too had been molested for many years of my life and didn't really deal with it until I was an adult. And when I finally dealt with it as an adult, it broke me. And I relived it. And I felt anxiety and afraid. And how was I being viewed? And will people believe me? And was I being blamed for being a part of it? And then my behavior as a man, how that shifted. So there's so much I imagine you're in. So I'm understanding why you have anxiety.
Yeah, and I there's other things that through the process of the documentary came to light, which is a whole other bag to unpack and more to process that I was unaware of previously. For example, I was going through Hollywood for so many years thinking, okay, there's bad actors. Well, obviously there's bad actors, but there's.
Can I ask a question to those in the chat that have seen Quiet on Set? Something I'm actually very, I would just love to know the answer on. So Alexa, who is, one of the main people behind Eat Predators and, is very outspoken in this. I've been seeing online, and I don't know how true this is, that Alexa used to make videos about Drake Bell and the accusations against him, but apparently they've been deleted. Is that still true? Is that true? Like, how much are Alexa and Drake intertwined in this? Because that was something that was a little bit confusing towards me. I don't know. I don't mean to start anything by saying this, but I'm a little bit confused by it. And I'm a big supporter of Alexa. I always have been. She was lovely to me during the Colleen thing as well. But I'm pretty sure I saw like things, and I just don't know if they're true or not. So she deleted them because she wants to look into it a little bit more. She supports his story, but I think she also believes in the cycle of abuse. She deleted them after it came out. I'm not saying this to start any shit. I'm just curious as to where she stands with Drake Bell also being accused. Again, I'm a big supporter of her. I just am a little bit confused by it, and I would love to have access to watch Quiet on Set to kind of further understand it. But obviously, I can't watch it, which is fucking annoying. Interesting. If someone could like DM me or tweet me or comment or something like that, kind of describing their dynamic a little bit to me, because I know they're both very heavily involved in this, and I would just kind of like to know where she stands with Drake Bell, I guess. If someone could let me know. Again, I'm not saying this to start anything. I know that there's a lot of people online that are coming for her right now. I'm just saying it from a personal standpoint of I would love to kind of gather my perception of this on my own. So if someone could like educate me a little bit on what is going on. She said she didn't know he was going to be in the documentary. Okay, so if someone could just kind of like detail to me so I can know.
There's people at play in this industry that are dangerous and you need to watch out for. But in my mind, that exists everywhere. I mean, you could go to karate class. It could be at a school. It could be at any institution, any job, anywhere. And so my feeling was that it was there's isolated individuals to watch out.
Maybe we'll watch the Just Trish with her because I would love to know her thoughts.
We were able to unseal letters of support that my abuser received on his behalf and that were turned over to the judge. And that's new information for me. People who I trusted, I looked up to, were in positions of power over me, directors, producers, writers, actors, some that I thought were friends, some that I went on to work with later. For example, on my series, Drake and Josh, who I went through life never knowing that they had penned these letters. And reading the letters was, I mean, just completely re-traumatizing. I mean, seeing the names and what they wrote was just unbelievable. I mean, saying things like, we're aware of the charges, but we would be more than happy to recommend him for work, and I'd be on.
And didn't he get like re-employed after that? And he didn't even get like a maximum sentence, and then he got hired by Disney Channel, I think it was. I can't even imagine speaking up about someone doing that to you in your childhood, and then so many celebrities are coming forward with letters being like, well, he's nice to me, well, I like him. It's fucking disgusting. It is so disgusting.
Honored to work with him again. People saying that right now I would hire him to work with children. That's how comfortable I feel with him.
So crazy, dude.
And a lot of people saying, well, I felt he always made me feel comfortable. He never made me feel in a certain way. And I'm like, well, yeah, well, you guys were a bunch of adults that were like in positions of power over him as well. I mean, it's not like he's going to take that risk. I don't know.
Have any of them apologized to you? Because some of these are public people.
There's been a couple of public statements.
He worked on Sweet Life of Zach and Cody after?
Personally? No. That wrote the letters? No.
And even, so they made public statements, but they didn't reach out to you personally?
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I mean, they kind of, even though they are apologies in a sense, they kind of mirror what was written in the letters, except saying things like, oh, had we known the details, or we weren't aware of all of the facts, or, we were told it.
Well, maybe don't write a letter in fucking support of a predator if you don't know the facts. Like, I don't understand that excuse in like on their behalf. Sorry, we didn't know the full extent. Then why are you going so on the line for a predator?
It happened and that he was going to take responsibility for it, but we didn't know the extent or we didn't know the details. And I'm like, what? Did you need to know if it was day or night? Did you need to know what color the couch was? I mean, what details would have changed your thought process at that time to write a letter in support of somebody who had admitted to what he did? And even the fact that in your letter you say, I'm aware of the charges, but how do you then put out an apology that says, oh, had we known? When you literally say, I'm aware of the charges.
So the betrayal feels it extends beyond just the one that abused you, but
that's what I'm saying. Yes, and that's all new to me. So it's hard. And there were some people that I saw in those letters that I expected to have written letters, so they didn't come as a surprise to me. But there were a few that I couldn't even believe it. It just didn't feel real. That
you thought that they had your back.
Yeah, and yeah, I thought that they had my back. I thought they were.
Moa said, well, thank you for your donation. I sent you, the reason it's so quick right now, number one, they're all speaking quite slow, and number two, it's quite long, so just so we can fully digest all of it. I sent you an email about my work with ePredators, researching and documenting all this info on a graph. It would mean the world if you look at it. Did you send it to my, like, business email? Sorry, me saying I have a business email is crazy, but, like, if you have... I'm going to look right now. Obviously, it's not something I'm going to do on this stream because I kind of want to vet things before. But I'm going to look at my emails right now.
There were friends. There's people that I had worked with in the future and people who I saw not too long ago that I hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Oh, all right, yeah, I miss you. Love to work again, with you again. And how's everything going? Just the way we, I mean, you're in LA and you know how it goes, and you reminisce and everything's cool, and then you get a stack of letters on your lap, and your just mind is completely blown, and your whole reality.
Can you resend it to me, Moa, please? I must have opened it and I don't know where it is. Would you be able to resend it to me? I would appreciate that. Thank you.
It just shatters.
So I'd love to know. We have the show, which is called Man Enough. Part of what Justin is really good at and what he wanted to do was have a place that we can talk to men about our growth, our challenges, our pain, so we can heal, so we can be better for ourselves, and then obviously ultimately better for humanity. And the only way to do that is to like really have real conversations, not just surface conversations, like one like we're having now. With that, can you share with us that there are so many boys and girls, but specifically about boys because you yourself were a boy, and there's a different, in my experience, shame that comes with boys versus girls, equally horrific, but a different process for boys when we are raped and molested. So when you have now come out to talk about it, what is it? Why now? What's the purpose of you sharing it? Was it on the heels of Nickelodeon or this documentary happening and they reached out to you, or were you already in the process? Why now in your 30s now is this coming up? And what are you hoping this does for you or heals for you?
Well, that's an interesting point.
Well, who made Quiet on Set? Because I thought it was Alexa's thing, is it not? Quiet on Set, like who's behind it? I'm confused. Quiet on Set, who made it? You know what I mean? Like, who is the person behind it? Anyone know? Okay, so it's not Alexa's. So who is it? Discovery. Okay, Moa, I did get your email. Whoa, my God. That's a great question, but it was not Alexa. It was Discovery. Okay, and then they reached out to everyone. Whoa, Moa, what the fuck have you sent me? Hold on. Sorry, one of you has sent me something. What the fuck is this? This is more research than I've ever seen in my entire life. This is so beautifully done. I love the colors. I would love to show it on the screen, but I have no idea what you're talking about until I like properly research it. The Hollywood abuse and complacency graph. I'm putting this together. I'm doing research. Now, this is beautifully done. I love the colors. There's like little stars and stuff. I know it's overwhelming, so I put a couple. It is. So I put a couple stars. Here are some important things as potential places to start. What the fuck? Holy shit. This is the like. Okay, I'm going to zoom out so much. And like just show like what you have sent me. This is like fucking crazy. Let me get rid of the URL so people can't just find it. Sorry. And when you zoom in, this is all different things. Oh, are you on this right now? Or is that me? That's crazy. I will have to look into that before I cover that because I have no idea what it is referencing. Lunar, hello. I can DM you where I watched it. Please, please do. Please do. Please do. Please do. Please do. Please do. I would love if you could do that. Thank you so much.
I mean, there does seem to be a stigma of people feeling that there's a difference there, but I think that we're all human, and everyone processes trauma and reactions to people sharing their trauma differently. Like I was saying earlier, I might crack jokes and I might make things because that helps me not collapse, and someone else might cry and someone else might get angry, so we're all dealing with this, but what we all share is these traumatic experiences affect everything that we do in our lives. It affects our families, it affects the people around us, it affects how we treat others, it affects our choices moving forward in the future.
If you don't mind me, there's someone right now listening, a man your age or around, who's been abused, who's not shared it, who might now, because you have been speaking about it. And so what got you to this point compared to 5 years ago, 3 years ago?
I had a son, and I think that had a lot to do with it. My ex-wife, unfortunately, we are separated, but I think she was a big catalyst. She helped me through everything.
So I assume the ex-wife isn't the one that's accusing him of abuse. I think that's the ex-girlfriend. But there were two alleged ex-girlfriends that were accusing him, right? Well, one said she was going to, but then didn't, I guess. So I assume this isn't the one that accused him.
When I was at my lowest, she really picked up all the pieces and made sure that I could continue working. And I mean, she even moved into taking over all of the business aspects of everything I was doing, making sure everything was handled. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't had her support and her grace and her strength. That played a big role. And I think I got to a breaking point. I was going down a really bad path with drugs, alcohol, the way that I was treating others, taking everything out on other people, not being accountable for my actions, blaming others. And I finally had nowhere else to turn, and I checked myself into rehab. And I felt I was going to rehab because, okay, I'm abusing my body, and this is not going to be a good ending. So I have to remove myself from my living situation. I have to go somewhere different. I just wanted to go away. But when I got into rehab, it was a really intense facility. And I went through a lot of grief counseling and trauma therapy and group therapy and one-on-one. I mean, it was all day. And I was unearthing all of these things that I'd never talked about. Not only never talked about with strangers, but even with people I was close to, had never gotten that deep about things that I've experienced and things that have happened and things that have been a result of what has happened. And I was around so many people who, for the first time, had similar stories or had different kinds of trauma, but incredible trauma in their lives, and were opening up. And
Well, okay, I'm glad that he was able to go to rehab and kind of stop himself when he knew he was going down a dangerous path. I think a lot of people aren't able to do that or don't want to do that, and I think it's a beautiful thing when people are able to come to the realization that that is the best thing for them. I think as well, there is something to be said that the Drake Bell thing is so complicated because of the allegations against him, but what that guy just said is a great point, which is there are people out there right now that will feel comfortable speaking up about their abuse because you are speaking up about your abuse. And so even if Drake Bell has been accused of things himself, first of all, it doesn't take away from the fact that he should be able to speak up about things that have happened to him. It doesn't negate it. Both things can be true at the same time. But I think that there's also something to note that the positives that come out of someone speaking about it, globally, worldwide, it can open a conversation where people may feel comfortable to open up about things that have happened to themselves as well, which ultimately can only be a good thing for the most part.
and sharing, and that was the first time that I really felt like I was in an environment that was comfortable enough to share, and felt comfortable enough around people that weren't going to judge, and that really just wanted to see you get better. And so I had been approached by the documentary prior to that, and I just was not ready at all. And
Sorry, Margaret said your channel is literally all drama, 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 low-key exhausting. Baby, you are on a drama channel. Woo, woo, woo. Not much going on in Margaret Sullivan's head. You're on a drama channel, babe.
I didn't know how I would ever tell my story. If I did, how, because that was something in the back of my mind forever, is, am I going to tell my story? Is this always going to be something that is just hidden in the darkness of my mind? But I'm sure, like what you just shared, you know that when you do hold all of that inside, it becomes this giant ball of just tar and sludge that just weighs you down and affects every aspect of your life. I mean, your relationships, how you respond at work, how you wake up in the morning, how do you fall asleep at night, how you navigate through the world is all dictated by what is going on inside of you. That is just
And also, there's no time limit that a victim needs to come forward as well, which I think we also need to normalize.
world of this. But after being in rehab for quite some time, I just started telling my story and feeling more comfortable and with a clear mind and not clouded by substances or getting depressed and then going and drinking or whatever I could get my hands on. And so for the first time, really coming face to face with everything throughout my life. So when I got out, the conversations continued about involvement in this piece, and I just started to feel a little bit more light, and the weight was sort of lifting. But like I said, it's a moment-to-moment thing, because when I finally agreed to do the documentary, I sat down and I was this is the first time I'm going to tell this story. I mean, how?
This is something that's interesting me. I'm just like, who created this documentary? Like, okay, people are saying Discovery, Lifetime, whatever. But I'm like, sorry, the stare is intense. It's going on right now. You know, was it someone who was a child star that was abused, or was it someone that was like, I want to talk about child stars being abused, so I'm going to start reaching out to the ones that I think have been abused? You know what I mean? Which inherently is a bit weird, actually, but because you would think that it would start with the child stars themselves rather than someone trying to like poke and prod. But I guess that's journalism. Interesting. I just want to know exactly who started it.
Am I going to say this in a way that gets the message across? And because I'm sure, like you've experienced, there's a lot that you kind of just black out, that you don't remember. And not that you don't remember it, but I think it's a defense mechanism.
Correct.
Where it's just not there until it's there again. And when it's there again and it comes back, it's like a movie. It's like a movie you've seen 1,000 times. And you can recite every line of dialogue, and you know exactly what the actors were wearing and what the scene setting was, and and you can, recite every line. And so even through the process of making the documentary, I was thinking, what am I doing? And then when I left,
I also wonder how long the preparation for the documentary was. And also, I wonder how much involvement they had to tell Nickelodeon. Because they were making it about Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. I wonder if they had to tell them that they were doing it, like, and tell everything about everyone. Because remember Dan Schneider made that, like, apology video with T-Bone?
Forums did I just open? What's going to happen now? What are people going to do? How is this going to affect me?
The series was produced by Maxine Productions with Sony Pictures Television and of course, Business Insider. The series was loosely based on a Business Insider article. Oh, okay. All right, that makes more sense.
And then it's like the roller coaster. It was a weight lifted. It was like, wow, that's not inside anymore. It's out there. People are going to do with my story what they will, and things will get twisted and things will get misinterpreted. But if there's people out there who, like you were saying, are listening to this podcast or are watching that documentary that says, wait a second, it's also how you then move forward and deal with things in a healthy, safe way, so that can be motivating for others as well. We all make mistakes in our life. If we've dealt with it.
Jasmine said, did anyone else hear about the shadiness about the doc creators and how they used clips that they were categorically not allowed to use per the victim's request? I didn't see that. I'll need to look into that.
Incredible trauma. That may have led to other things that you regret or choices that you wish you could change. But if you can recognize what the nucleus is and where that's coming from, and then be able to process it, and it's always going to be a struggle. Nothing's ever going to be easy. But if you can at least process it in a healthy way and get it out from inside, then hopefully others can see that in you who have experienced the same things and say to themselves, wait a second, if I see this light in this person and this person's being able to move through this, then I don't have to, maybe I don't
Thank you, Friendly.
Put myself through what I've been putting myself through until I'm old and gray and my life has passed me by. Like you were just showing, I don't know if you want me to share that, but you were just showing me on your phone, your son caught a fish today. Oh, that's gonna make me cry. And it's that those moments have to be shown from someone who's experienced what you shared with us earlier. I think that it's very important for people who have been through experiences like us to see, like, there's moments of happiness ahead. There's moments of triumph ahead. There's things that you're going to be proud of ahead. And it doesn't have to be what you're feeling right now in this moment.
So what you're feeling now, don't lose that for a moment.
Okay. That is a great point. That is a great point that he just brought up, which is, if something has happened to you, that does not define you, and your life, like, that is not your life. And something like that, your son catching a fish, like, back in that moment of focusing on that and feeling like your life is over, like, these moments are still to come. I think that is a great point. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I just... I'm really struggling with this, and the reason I'm struggling with it is because... I don't know how to say this. You know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to say, and I'm just trying to, like, articulate it. trying to think about how to phrase this. But you know what I'm going to say. I think when I hear him talk about his life with anyone, I'm also very aware of the fact that they're not talking about the fact that he pled guilty to so many things to do with minors and all like this. And the conversation of cycle of abuse, yeah. So I find it tricky to comment on a lot of things he talks about when it comes to his life, because like when he goes to rehab or whatever like this, because a lot of that as well surely revolves around, you know, court ordered things or probation, or, and there's a lot that isn't being discussed, which is fine. But I think specifically after just reading what his ex has said and what he's been through in court and his arrests and pleading guilty and all like this, I'm struggling to just, people are saying they talk about it later in the interview, which I would hope so. There's a lot of emotions going on right now where I just don't really know how to comment.
Because I feel what's happening is you're coming into a space, and reasonably, we have learned to posture our whole life. And it's hard to take that cape off. And when it comes off, it's important to leave it off for a moment. So what I want to just respond a little bit, and then if you would allow me to help you with some of this. I'm no expert, but I've been dealing with it for a long time. And I'm on a different, I'm past the journey you are on right now because I'm a few years removed from when I first really came out. Again, I'm so sorry. This never should have happened to you, to none of our kids. You're at this weird age of a young teenager where you're young enough to not be in control at all and old enough to know that there's shame in this and there's consequences if I say something. What will people think of me? I won't be cool.
But also as a child actor, you're carrying your entire family's wealth on your shoulders, which also people don't focus on enough.
So a lot of times 9 and 10-year-olds may say something more than a 13-year-old or 14-year-old would, because you're like, whoa, this is going to affect my life and hurt my parents and hurt this and all this stuff. You were in that age. It's terrible. I'm so sorry. But then you learned to conceal it. You shared to put someone away. Then you obviously continued working, continued living, going down a path that didn't serve you well, getting attached to substances and things of that nature, which is a coping mechanism because it stays inside. And then now you are, I can see you when you talk, that you're navigating how do I frame this? How do I say this? What's going to affect me later? I have another interview to do tomorrow or such. I have my kid. How's it going to affect him? Your parents. But when I dealt with it, it came back to surface me when the whole Michael Jackson stuff came out. The reason is because I started and my son was at the age that I was when this started with me. And every time I watched or heard something, I started screaming. I needed people to hear me. I was crying. When I watched your episode, I was on a plane on the way home from out of town, and I'm under a blanket on the plane crying because not only am I feeling for you, I'm remembering mine. And it doesn't leave. But it doesn't have to control me anymore. And the way that it doesn't control me is to talk about it and to be free about talking about it, to no longer navigate the words that I say. For you to get to a point that you can say, I was abused. This is what happened to me. It happened for this period of time. I still feel pain. I'm still learning. I fucked up my body by self-medicating and so on and so on. Will you get to a place of confidently being able to say it without shame?
Yeah.
Because you are not the one to feel shame. And to own it instead of continuing being a victim in it.
Yeah.
Which is fair. But we don't want to stay there. So I want us to also move to like a second part of you as a man now and some.
I think that sums it up. Megan Price said it's nuanced. He can have trauma and also cause others trauma.
The things you had said about like learning and choices we make and things of that nature. And I know that there's stuff out there about you that may not reflect exactly who you are and what you've been dealing with. Maybe some of it does. I don't know. I'd love for you to speak about it a little bit so that we can have a conversation. But before we get to that, now that you've shared outside of your safe world to the world that will fucking throw you away and other people will embrace you and you're like a plaything for people. How do you feel now that you've let it out, let this fucking beast out of your body? Are you happy? Are you glad that you're doing this and this journey as hard as it will be? Are you feeling that you're finding healing?
To keep it honest, it's very scary, but at the same time, it's very freeing. And I think you put it in the you put it the right way when you say, you're in the fire, you're in the thick of it right now. But even though there's so much happening and it is on such a public stage, it's nothing compared to how I have felt in the past.
I mean, specifically if you're keeping it all in.
Talk about it, and the more that I'm able to articulate my thoughts just for myself in my own mind, there is a big weight that feels has been lifted and is freeing. But not to say, because I don't want someone to feel like, oh, well, all I have to do is talk about it and then everything's okay. And then I move on. Because this is going to be something that we deal with for the rest of our lives. And it's going to be a range of emotions and everything. But I think that that was something also that motivated me to not just tell my story, but to get into rehab, was not just that I was self-medicating or what have you, but was not recognizing myself. And whether it was behaviors or actions that were just so out of character for not just who I want to be or who I want the world to see me as, but who I know who I am and how I know myself, was getting really scary. And I think that that was another motivation of, okay, I can either go down this path and that be the end of my story.
Okay, so I guess here he's referencing allegations against him and things he was accused of, because he's talking about going down that bad path. You know, he wasn't recognizing himself. So I guess that's loosely kind of addressing, because the interviewer just before this was like, there's things out there about yourself. But yeah, I can't fathom the... Our Robbles, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very sweet. I think there's something to... Yeah, be patient with yourself, guys. If this is too much, come back later or watch the VOD or see the next one. I forgot to write the message. Well, I appreciate you. I can't imagine keeping something in that long and then it finally being out there and, you know, being able to be picked apart. And like, I'm talking on a grand scale here, like of your entire life. It's such a scary concept to fathom. Like, it really is. So I'm glad for anyone who's able to get that out and being able to, because when you just say it publicly, that's not getting over it. You know, it's starting the process of really processing it, because once other people start giving their opinions on it, that's hard. Like, that is hard. You know, it's no longer just an internal battle. Like, it can be a good or bad thing when you say it publicly. You know, there's so many different perspectives that you don't really want or care to hear. So, yeah.
And that's what gets to be left behind for my son, that gets to be left behind for my family, or I can, and just use a boxing metaphor, is just to not stay down and to get back up and fight for what is important to you in your life, to fight for your family, to fight for your relationships, to fight for yourself, and to finally be at peace where you do start recognizing yourself again, and you do start moving forward and making the right choices, and you do start making amends and mending relationships and learning from all of these actions that you've taken.
Tell us 3 things that you think as a result. No, I don't want to excuse it. The way that you were built and had to go through life and become the man that you became. Maybe 3 things, looking back, that you go, I could have done this better. And for instance, I could have not cheated on every one of my wives. I could have not slept with some of the wives of my closest people in my life because the boundaries for me. I could have not done that. Should have not. I didn't see it clear at the time. There's a host of other things as well. Can you name them that quickly? There's 3 things I could have.
I could have been much better in all of my romantic relationships, for sure. I could have been...
Okay, again, that could loosely be referencing the fact that, you know, his ex-girlfriends have accused him of abuse. I mean, we're not really touching on it, but...
I could have been much better in my marriage. And...
How?
More honest, more faithful, more stronger, more aware, more... what's the word I'm looking for? When you give and take.
Compromising.
Reciprocal?
Reciprocal. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Yeah, I could have been more reciprocal.
What are some things that you have done that you wish that you didn't?
Or
that you've learned from that you would no longer do?
A big one is how I've taken my pain, and I don't want to blame it on that, because I obviously made the choices, and nobody grabbed my hand and forced me to do these things. These were choices that I made. I think the hardest part is realizing the hurt that I've caused along the way, whether it's in friendships or romantic relationships or with my parents, with my family. There was a lot of, and I don't know if this is something maybe, I mean, there's cameras on us. I want to talk to you like we're not on camera right now, and maybe this is something that you felt too. And I think it's
It's interesting. I understand, you know, feeling uncomfortable in camera, but I mean, saying like, oh, there's things I want to tell you off camera while you're loosely referencing things you've been accused of. I don't know. He's very media trained. I'll say that. I think he's very media trained. And the reason I can sense that he's media trained is because all of his answers loosely, or whenever he's asked something that references something he's done bad, he will answer it but reference it back to what has happened to him, which is fine, and that's fine, and we can focus on that. But in a way that is being used as a PR distraction. Now, again, I don't know how much they get into it here, but we are like, he's been arrested. He's pled guilty to things. You know, he's been accused of, you know, abuse. And this is someone who's very prepared for the questions and is kind of, you know, circling it back. And again, Drake Bell, you know, is a victim. He is a victim. And that does not take away from the fact that, you know, Drake Bell can have victims. And that doesn't take away from the fact that Drake Bell's a victim. And that, like, both can be true at the same time. Like, are we getting this? Are we getting this? Yes. However, I am noticing in this interview that this doesn't feel like an honest conversation. This more so just feels like everything is being rehearsed. Everything is circling back to his story, which is fine, and I understand why. However, there are topics with Drake Bell that I feel are important to note and talk about when you're talking about him speaking about things. They add a lot of context. When he's speaking about his adult life but not talking about these things and then referencing back to other things that really, you know, aren't involved with it, it is giving very media trained, which makes sense. Our Rebels, you didn't need to write another one. I was looking for your next message. I forgot to write my message, but I think in a way we can relate, but it still acknowledge the abuse of one's actions and still hold them accountable. We can multitask. We can multitask. Please. Of course we can.
When somebody who is not your mom or your dad, and you go through moments where that exists with them as well, but when someone tells you that they love you and that their love is unconditional and that they love you completely, it's very hard to believe it. It's hard to accept it. It's hard to...
Wait, the question was, what would he do differently in his life? And he's talking about... Wait, what?
To not have defenses up, and then you end up making choices that I and this is this is like therapy. This is the first time I've thought about this, but that maybe you start to make choices so that if that love that's
right. Are we aware? He's not answering the question and instead is like, I don't even think I need to explain it. I think you're aware of it. I think a lot of people in the chat are aware of it. It's important. It's, you know, this may be something he's doing subconsciously, 100%. This is focusing on, you know, him being a victim. But I just think when he's being asked about what are you regretful for, what things didn't go right, what would you do differently, to kind of not answer the questions and kind of circle it back to the previous conversation. And also, yeah, a lot of people, like Jasmine, was like, maybe he's legally advised not to go into depth about the allegations against him, which is fine. But I think I think the majority of people would appreciate a little bit of transparency on that, maybe.
Complete and absolute. It's not going to hurt as much when it's gone. And really what you should be doing is cherishing that and respecting that and nurturing that.
What the fuck is he talking about?
There's because of, I mean, I keep saying because of, but I think not as a result. I don't want to blame it all.
I appreciate you keep doing that.
See what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, of course. You are wanting to make, I'm really proud of you for doing this. You're not saying I'm this because of this. And at the same time, we are who we are because of what we experience as well.
Right.
So you're not wanting to excuse it.
Yeah.
You are a man that gets to make choices and make the right choices. But we make better choices when we're informed from childhood of what those right choices are and not
Yes.
blurred. And some of that has been blurred for you.
Yeah.
So you're trying to explain it. So I appreciate that, but don't get too caught up in that so that you can express
And I think
it.
there's a lot of, when we've been through what we've been through, is
Okay, so the guy is literally being like, okay, you don't have to keep saying you don't want to, like, you don't know how to explain it or whatever. Like, he's like, explain it.
trust is such a difficult, because when you're young, I mean, I see it in my son, and it's like, trust is one of the first things that you learn. I mean, you trust that your parents are going to feed you. You trust that your parents are going to change your diaper. You trust that
Protect you.
they're going to protect you. It's immediate. You trust the second that you are born. You trust that your mom is going to hold you, and this is a safe place on her chest the day you were born. And when someone takes advantage of that type of trust at early stages in your life, your defenses just go up, and you no longer. It makes it really difficult to trust anybody. It makes someone not be.
Can I just,
Yeah.
please keep going? Can I just offer one thing?
Yeah.
Can you, instead of saying you, say I? Having done years and years of therapy myself, and I just want to offer that. There's a lot of yous, and we're here to hear about you. And
Yeah,
I just want nothing changes, but just if you can just keep that in the back.
Yeah, I think when I, through what I've experienced, and when I've had an experience of where trust has been taken advantage of at such formative times in my life, it makes it really hard for me to trust people when they're trying to do what in the when they have my best interest at heart. Or it makes it very difficult to trust when someone tells me they love me, and it causes me to do things that I feel are so out of character for myself, but maybe are.
Okay. Dude, in 10 minutes, we've circled back to the same point. He has literally been called out for the guy for repeating the same shit, and he's now saying that I've done out of character things and I'm putting up a wall, it wasn't me or whatever. Like, he keeps saying the same thing. He keeps alluding to being a bad person, but then... So it's hard for me to give an opinion because he's really not saying anything. He keeps saying... It was out of character what I did. I was putting up a wall, but circling back to the... And then I'm like... Blah, 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 blah. Like, what? Kelsey, thank you for your donation. He keeps deflecting the actual questions because he doesn't want to admit his wrongdoings. They want to hear about his experience. They don't want to keep hearing about hypotheticals. That's a great point, actually. That, like... Actually, when you phrase it like that, he is speaking in hypotheticals rather than himself.
Maybe I'm putting up a wall or a defense mechanism so that when that trust gets broken, like I've experienced, it doesn't, it hurts a little less. And it never does.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, it's self-sabotage.
Yeah.
And it never does hurt less. But in those moments, you're thinking, oh, if that happens,
It's inevitable. Yeah.
because you really do feel like it's inevitable. And I've had to deal with this a lot. I catastrophize. I hyper focus.
Alexandria said, okay, but was the podcast appearance intended for him to take public accountability? I mean, I would hope it's intended for him to fucking speak because he keeps saying the same PR statements over and over again. Like, don't do it if you're going to, do that.
I always think of, I can never focus on, well, if this goes right, this will be great. It's always, okay, well, when this goes wrong, put myself in that place so that I'm prepared to deal with it when this happens. Because you always have that feeling of, like you said, and it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Because that's just how I've, I was going to say you again.
Do
How
you see
I've,
the difference, though?
yeah, oh yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
even hearing you talk about it, just in the last little bit, I just noticed myself go,
Yeah.
Because we don't realize that even as we talk about these things and we say you, it's self-preservation.
Mhm.
And it's a way to distance myself, in this case, from past behavior for you.
Yeah.
And it's harder to say I
Yeah.
than it is to say you, right? Because we're in this position, we're on this
He's
podcast.
such a nice voice.
Celebrity, you've had influence.
Yeah, the original question was, what is his regrets in his relationships? And we've just completely changed the topic, but he did it so well.
You're sitting with two people who've also, in a very different way, been victims of a different kind of abuse in relationships, right? Liz and I over here on this side, and both of us very different situations.
But I think if we're going to have this conversation about Drake Bell is sitting at the table with people who've been in abusive relationships, it's neglectful if they're not bringing up the fact that Drake Bell has been accused of being abusive in relationships too. Like, Kai said he's weaponizing therapy language to avoid accountability for his abusive actions. I just think the fact that they're you're sitting at the table with people who've been in abusive relationships, but Drake Bell has been accused, even if we're just going to say accused of that, which defend yourself from that, I guess. Like,
And yet, the I part is healing.
Yeah.
Right? The I part is when I go, I can trust this guy.
Yeah.
Because you're opening yourself up, which is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So I just offer that just as you're thinking about this stuff in the future and as you're on this tour and you're going to be inevitably talking to the world. We're in a very confusing time.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the reasons we started this podcast is because we want to have very honest conversations, vulnerable conversations, real conversations, and learn in real time.
Casey, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Seiji.
Yeah.
Right? And yet, the internet has context collapse. We read bite-sized headlines. We think whatever we want. You see posts about a certain person, you think that they're perfect, and then boom, you find one thing about them that was bad, and suddenly they're all bad.
Yeah.
Right? It's binary. It's black and white in the world, and we are not black and white.
Yeah.
We are complex individuals that all of us have trauma. All of us have that trauma living in our bodies. It comes out in ways that we don't want when you talk about that black tar. And the point of all of this is to say there's accountability that needs to happen, maybe publicly, maybe privately. And the I is the secret.
Yeah.
Because the I is what maybe the victim, someone like Liz, would need to hear from you in order to have her nervous system relax around you.
Right.
And then accept the fact and empathize with the fact that, like, oh, you've been abused. The worst things in the world have happened to you. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't excuse whatever the 3 and 5 things you talked about. But at least then I can go, oh, I'm so sorry. I understand you as a human. I'm not that different.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for indulging and you know.
Yeah,
saying
no,
that.
I mean, it's a very, very strong difference feeling when, you know, and you put it in a good way is we're on a public stage where, and I've been doing this for so many years, and you know, we're media trained and we're in,
Clearly, I'm glad we're agreeing that you're media trained.
we have this thing, so it is difficult sometimes to reflect on yourself without trying to, like you were saying, you know, put it in a way, okay, wait, how is this going to be picked up tomorrow, and how is this going to be twisted, and really just focusing on who am I and what have I experienced and how am I going to navigate through this and what are the mistakes that I've made
Yeah.
is much heavier and healing than, you know, you go through these things and, you know, people experience this and
That's
they
right.
might react this way or they might
Yeah.
react this way.
Because what I don't want as a brother, right, as a fellow man, is what I don't want are people thinking that you are using your trauma and abuse to come back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you are. And that's why I'm asking you to go deeper.
Yeah.
Because people can tell when someone's media trained.
Mhm.
We are used to the half-assed apologies.
Yeah.
We are used to the people coming on and saying,
Is he calling him out here?
and they put the statement up on their Instagram or whatever it is, or they read the thing, and people can feel it.
Yeah.
Is he calling him out?
Everyone is in their own pain, and I have a belief that people when they're in pain want to see others in pain,
Of course.
which is I think what happens with the pylon system on social media and like boom, boom, because you know there's a lot of people who've been abused or have been victims who've had no power.
Yeah.
And it's the only place that they have power. I'm not excusing it. It's still wrong because all of us are human beings. But it's very hard to do that when someone can feel another person.
It's, I mean, it's very interesting. I think these guys are very aware of the fact that he's very media trained because he is, yeah, I'll upload all the VODs later. I think they're very aware that he's very media trained. And I think, here's the thing. A lot of people will always say when someone speaks out that they're doing it for monetary gain, personal gain, whatever. I had people say it about me as well. When you speak up about things, life goes on. And you have to work. And people can deem you moving on with your life as using it as a one-up or using it for money or using it for attention or using it for whatever. Did Drake Bell release a music video right after this? Yes. Is that wrong? Not really. Is it questionable? Sure. I had people say shit like that when I continued making videos after the Colleen thing, so I don't have a comment on it. None of that was planned, so I'm gonna believe that Drake Bell's wasn't either. I can't get over how little progress we've made in this conversation so far. We are 50 minutes into it. We are 50 minutes into it. And we have just been dancing in circles. Like, I know I just read the article of all of his allegations, but it's like, I was hoping we were going to get somewhere with this conversation. And also, let me play devil's advocate. Maybe making a music video was healing for him. Yeah.
Person's soul. Because as you said, we're all humans.
Yeah.
It's very hard to punish somebody when they've had remorse for their actions and they say I. Because we can meet each other there.
Yeah.
Our hearts, our souls can meet each other there. It can transcend everything.
Yeah.
This is the path, I believe, to forgiveness and redemption. This is what's missing in the world, in Hollywood, in social media, in the news. There's a path, but it starts with sincerity
Yeah.
and accountability. And I believe you have a chance for that. And that's why I just wanted not to help in some way, because this is so fresh.
This is for the person in chat earlier that said, well, this isn't a podcast about accountability. He just said it is. So,
But to offer, like, as you're on this path, like, own it.
Yeah.
I think we need to stop listening to the publicists. I think we need to stop listening to everybody who has a paycheck tied to us.
Yeah.
And then say, what would I do if there were no cameras? What if there was no social media? If I hurt you, how do I own that? I think the world will, I think that's how we change things. And you're in a really unique position. So that's why I was excited when you came on the show.
I want to ask a couple things, but Liz, I know you have been so wonderfully gracious and having a presence in your energy and your spirit and leaving space for mainly Drake and myself to share. And thanks, Justin. Do you have anything you want to share before I?
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening and appreciating this conversation so much. I truly, like, before we, came into on set, I was like, I think you will get a lot out of, like, I think this should have happened whether there's cameras or not. Right?
I was thinking that when he was talking,
Yeah.
I was going, and we spoke a little bit off camera. But yeah, this is definitely something I felt that exactly.
Yeah, and as a woman to mirror what you're or plus one it, I think that as a woman, I feel safe when men are acknowledging their mistakes, not when they're minimizing them or erasing them. And sometimes the erasure of the abuse can be worse than the abuse itself, right? The gaslighting, and in your case, you experienced it firsthand with these letters or with people being silent around this, which I definitely am curious how that's felt. Some people have talked about, these videos resurfacing of Ariana Grande and her still following Dan Schneider on Instagram. What does that sort of do to see people who are powerful or who have influence sort of still remaining silent around that? But I also think that you are, like, your story is so unique, but it's also, I think, something that an experience that a lot of men can relate to, where you were victim and you were perpetrator. I mean, we all, under patriarchy, that's pretty much the deal for men, right? You're hurt by patriarchy. You're hurt by men who exploit your weaknesses or your vulnerability. Then you're taught to not have any vulnerability. And so then you end up taking it out in your romantic relationships on, you didn't say you took it out on women, but if it's your marriage, your romantic relationships, I mean, it's,
hold on. Okay, so this woman opened up earlier about relationship abuse, and she's now just said, well, you said, Drake, that, you didn't take it out on relationships like that. He has been accused. He has been accused of doing that, and I think that the only way to have an honest conversation about this is to put everything on the table. Especially if you're going to do an interview deep dive like this, I think it's only right to put everything on the table. He has been accused of this.
it looks like the women in your life really, were very supportive and helpful. I loved how you talked about your...
The women in his life have accused him of abuse. Like, this is not the full truth. Like, I just would appreciate if we were a little bit more honest here. Like, it's hard to play both sides and hear both people out whenever we're not telling the other point of view. So many people in chat were like, it's only accusations. Okay, we can still talk about them. I would rather talk about them and then be fake than not talk about them at all and they be real. Like,
your ex, I think it's always says a lot about a man, the way that he talks about a woman that he's no longer with. But you also, and there's this case of child endangerment, which is mentioned in the documentary, but there's not a lot about it. I would love to know, do you feel that dichotomy, of being victim and perpetrator? Is that hard to even sort of fathom?
Okay, so thank you to the woman who's finally 51 minutes in asking a productive question, like, do you feel that you can be the perpetrator and the victim? Thank you. This is a man's podcast, but the fucking woman is the one that's fucking pulling through. We need less men in podcasts, more women in podcasts.
And then how do you approach that, as a man in our society?
Yeah, I think that comes back to seeing myself act in certain ways and make choices that I feel are so out of character for myself and not who I want to be and not who I want to be in the future. But I think that, like you were saying, is you can't minimize who you've hurt and the actions you've taken. Wow, I'm gonna catch that all the time now. Wow, that's heavy. That's really heavy. I have to take accountability for the choices that I've made and make amends as well.
Which are?
Sorry, I'm laughing, but you got me on that. You in the eye, man. Wow.
But you know why? I'm on the same journey.
Yeah. It's really heavy because it really makes me really reflect on who I am and what I've been through and what I put others through. I just know that when I make those choices, that's not who I am. And I want to find
Dude, he's answering this the exact way he answered the question, what did you do wrong in relationships 20 minutes ago? Right. Right. It's hard for me to have a productive conversation when this is all we're getting. This is bullshit. This is literally bullshit. Sorry.
and like you just said, it's a journey. I want to find out what it is.
He's just repeated the same sentence, by the way, sentence after sentence. He said, I want to find out who I really am. Blah, 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 blah. I want to find out who I really am.
And how I can change or learn from what it is that would cause me to make decisions or treat people a certain way.
So Drake,
Yeah.
can you do something for us?
Yeah.
I feel like you want to go there, so I'm gonna help you. Like Justin asked you to say "I," and I'm glad it resonated. I'm a big proponent of "I." It's been part of my healing, and reasonably. And I won't push you beyond where you tell me to stop. To close one chapter, and we'll come back to it. But what's happened to you as a child is undisputably wrong, and needs no explanation. And to your point, Justin, that people will in fact think, or not people, some people might think, is he using this to come back as a platform? Fuck them. I appreciate the question. Anyone who thinks that someone who's been abused uses it to their benefit to make some money, fuck you. No one who's experienced is what I've experienced, or you, or any of us. And then someone else gets to tell me that when I talk about it, I'm using it to benefit my life. Fuck off. Fuck you. Whoever says that to him.
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's reasonable that you would bring it up because I love that you did, because there are people that will say that. And I've seen some people say that about you. Fuck them. A child is raped, and they have the courage to say something about it, regardless of what their agenda is. Let them talk about it and expose it so we can stop it. And if they also reclaim their life and are seen, then so be it. So I hope you are able to reclaim your life. And not that it's not reclaimed. And if you grow more wings because you have expressed it, great. And anyone who says otherwise, fuck them. Sorry for the language over and over again.
No.
Okay. Now, you're a man with your history. And you're making reference to some of the things that you could have done better, but you're very vague.
Oh my God. Thank God. Thank God. Bless the Lord. We are an hour in, and they're finally making reference to the fact that he is being so fucking vague. Oh my God.
I could have been better in my relationships. Here's how but I can name them. I was not faithful to any.
He said, I wasn't good in my relationships, and I can name them. Anyone knows Sutton? Name 'em. Name 'em. Name 'em. From Real Housewives?
My boundaries with sex and relationships were off and caused harm and pain to, not off like I was abusive,
Note to self, anyone watching this podcast, start at 50 minutes.
but emotionally not okay to have someone feel like they were used, or the men that I hurt because the women in their life. I mean, I can name it so that I can own it, so that someone else may also say like I'm owning it. What are you
Name 'em.
sharing? So that I can lead to this next one.
You and I are, we share a lot.
This is about you. This is about you.
I absolutely could have been more faithful in relationships.
Okay, so that's one faithful. How else? Something else besides faithfulness.
I mean, I hate to just repeat what you just said, but it resonates with me so much and is so much a part of my story. I think that that lines being blurred is a really big one for me. And
It's a good point. An hour is just enough time that they've established some trust so that they can now push a little bit.
not realizing
That they were blurred.
that they were blurred and not realizing the impact that those actions would have on other people at the time.
Okay, so then let me bring it to this now. And forgive me for doing so, but there are people that know what's out in the world in the news, and I don't want us to just dismiss them. You were convicted of child endangerment.
Finally! Oh my God. Bingo!
It's a broad thing that a lot of people don't know what that could mean, what that includes. From what I understand, this is you as a man now. We're engaged in what? Some sort of Instagram conversation with somebody, or what? What,
Yeah, it
what
was
does that mean?
conversations over Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, with someone that was underage.
Yes.
Did you know they were underage?
No.
Okay. But she claims that you did.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she claims a lot of things.
Okay. And so then you, I'm sorry to bring this up, but it's here.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to dispute and highlight all of it because I don't know what's true, honestly. I know I lied a lot took me a long time to finally say, like, actually, what I was saying 5 years ago was not exactly true,
Right.
Because of fear and because of whatever else. So, no offense to you, you could be telling not the whole truth, or you might be, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know. So this is why we have conversations, so we can help with that. So, but what your story is that you didn't know. Okay, when you found out that she was underage, then you blocked her.
Yes,
Okay. Is there any accountability in that?
absolutely.
Okay, what?
Irresponsibility. I could have.
Help all of
I
us
was.
sort
I
of
think.
what is it?
I think I was engaging in behaviors that I shouldn't have engaged in. I think that I was not.
Is this where your boundaries are blurred?
Yeah, I think that I.
Was it that you kind of knew that maybe she's younger, maybe she's not, but you just kind of turned a blind eye?
No, I think that it.
Shit, he's been holding this in the entire interview, hasn't he? Oh my god, I thought he was his BFF until now. Oh my god. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's been holding this in. Finally. Finally.
It was conversations that shouldn't have happened at all. I mean,
You mean regardless of age?
I think so.
Okay,
I think.
but if they were 20 years old and you were 25 years old, then you can have whatever conversations you're with and nobody cares, right? It's just like sexual or
Yeah, but
whatever
I
it is.
still think that I still think that I should take responsibility for. I mean, this is just somebody that was
A fan.
online or taking, and maybe that's another way to look at it. Did I feel like I was in a position where this person was a fan of mine or something?
We're
You know,
using your power
or- yeah.
over
A woman.
yeah, and
A girl. Yeah.
and
so
maybe not realizing that at the time, but I think in hindsight, maybe that played a
give me
played a
something
role.
concrete. This is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Sorry, he literally, so Drake just rambled and the host was like, okay, give me something concrete here. Like, what is your opinion?
What's going to happen if we end our conversation right now? There's going to be people listening and be like, oh, he was so open about and talked about what happened to him as a child. Once we got to this stuff, I don't really know what to do with it. Liz, who's the most sweetest, forgiving, compassionate, and loves men and is forgiving to what we do, but also holds us accountable in ways that we can be better.
Yeah.
I don't want her to walk away from this with all the compassion she will for you, but also be like, I'm unclear about this.
Yeah.
Help give clarity because the rest of the world is also has eyes who are watching you over the next month, 2, 3, 4 months, talking about this horrific stuff that happened in your childhood, but you are also being pointed at in another way.
Yeah.
So the more
Well, I
vague you
think
are
that
with it, it
that's.
doesn't
I
bring
think
clarity.
that I think that that's what's difficult about is being painted in a way where, and I think that's why I get hung up on my words and because for the past 2 years I've been called something that I'm not and something that was perpetrated upon me.
An abuser, pedophile,
Yes.
Okay.
So I've been being called that for the past 2 years, and
because of this situation.
because
on
of the
Instagram.
situation, and it's really difficult because where yes I engaged in conversations I shouldn't have engaged in.
So you did it. So you did it.
It's a very hard parallel.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then let's help clean it up. You get it?
It's a hard parallel. If people are calling you a pedophile, it's because you were sending nudes to a child. Right?
Instagram is following from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They message you or you message them.
They messaged me.
Okay? They message you with just a normal hello like most people.
Yeah.
Then you respond with, like we all do, we look at the profile, see she's cute, she's such
Yeah.
and such, she looks like a woman. What? Or did she look like a kid?
No. She on the Instagram page. She was smoking. Was drinking with friends.
There were some sexual conversations. Were there pictures?
No.
Okay.
I want to hear the story in your own words.
Okay. So I engaged in.
Okay, so what he's saying is not what we've been told. We've been told that they did stuff behind the scenes at a concert. What did that article say? Oral sex or something? We've been told that there were photos. So let's now hear his side of it. Because we've heard her side, let's hear his.
Conversations with someone online. They were presenting themselves as someone who I would be able to engage with, and later on in the messages, I started to feel uncomfortable and uneasy, and so I kept asking, and then I finally was like, something doesn't seem right here. How old are you? And then she had told me, and that's when I stopped communication and said we couldn't talk anymore. And a lot of the things that were said in the statement later.
Wait, that is so incredibly vague. He just said someone messaged me, looked like someone I could engage with. We talked. I asked her age. I stopped talking to her. Number one, that's not the story we've been told. But also number two, I don't believe that because that's the quickest. It's like what James Charles says. We said hello. I asked her age.
My sentencing were new things that were never brought up in originally, and I don't know why. I had a phone call with my attorney at one point.
Everyone in my chat is saying that she was actually 12 when they started talking, and if that's true, then he's just bold-faced lying here.
And I I was going through an exhaustive investigation. I was trying to just stay upright. It was just grueling. And having my phones taken from me and computers, and they're subpoenaing my social media messages and reading everything that I've ever sent to anyone. And I got a phone call after a lot of the witnesses had been interviewed. And I broke down. I broke down, and because I felt so, I felt like I wasn't even being believed by my attorneys at certain points. And when the witness reports came to light, it was the most, I literally was in my driveway of my house, and I just fell, and I just started crying. And I was like, finally.
So you basically were convicted of sexting with a
Yeah.
minor before you knew she was a minor.
Yeah.
Because that's still illegal.
Yes.
Where'd you go wrong? Let's go to that.
So after all that, they were like, you were convicted of doing this, and he goes, yes. So all that fluff you just said doesn't matter. You were convicted of doing it.
Yeah, that takes me back to engaging in behaviors that shouldn't have happened at all. And
Can you be clear about that?
Yeah.
Engaging in behaviors that shouldn't have been wrong at all in terms of
I shouldn't have been engaging in a conversation of that
nature.
With a child.
anyone that I wasn't
With a child.
100% sure who they were, that they
With a
wanted to
child.
have conversations like that they were just that I knew them, that I had a personal relationship with, that I had more than just an online experience with. All of the above. I think it was a really poor lapse in judgment. And I hate to use, some people have said, oh, it was, a moment of weakness. It was because it was, even in moments of weakness, you need to be able to discern and recognize.
Bye, Shmuley. Have a good day.
You can't just blame a moment of weakness of why you got in your car when you were drunk and you crashed into somebody and hurt them. Oh, it was just a moment of weakness. I was really sad that day, or I was really upset. Something had happened in my life, and that's what caused. So even though we have had these traumas and we've had things that we've experienced, I hate to say, oh, that's why, because that's not going to help. That's not going to help me move forward and change my behavior. That's not going to help me recognize when I feel like making a decision that might harm someone else or harm myself, that I can just feel like, oh, I can just fall back on it was a moment of weakness, or I can fall back on, oh, well, I've been hurt, so I can.
So that means that
you own that you should have never been texting her in the first place.
100%.
And that there was a power dynamic, maybe.
100%.
and what you're saying by lapse of judgment isn't, I guess what I'm trying to make a distinction, which I hear you saying, but for clarity, this was not a blurred line for you in terms of, had you known from the jump that this person wasn't.
But also, so it said online that he was 31 and she was like 15 or something. But also, he literally was dating a 16-year-old whenever he was 20, which in itself is weird. Can't believe it's still bright outside. What time is it? Almost 7 p.m. Summer's coming.
Underage, would you have still been tempted to text?
No.
Okay, so that means what you're acknowledging is you shouldn't have been in this position. You should have had better discernment, better thoroughness. If there was a spidey sense on you, it was like, oh, I should check. You should have done all that before continuing on, but not because you were interested in someone that was of this age group.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
So that wasn't the lapse of judgment.
No, that wasn't the lapse of judgment. The lapse of judgment is engaging in any type of conversation like that with anybody that you are not in a relationship with, that you are connected to, that you, that I'm, that I'm in a relationship with, that I'm connected to, that I share all of that with already on a personal level.
Okay.
That is absolutely the mistake.
Look, I think we can call a spade. One of the byproducts of trauma that you've experienced, and again, not an excuse, is boundary.
Yeah.
There's boundary issues. And even the data is the data. 30% of all men who have been abused become abusers. So, but that's like to the extreme.
Yeah.
Right? And when you've had your power taken away in the way that you have, the way that Jamie has, the data also shows that one of the ways that victims of that type of abuse and trauma get their power back is sexually. Yeah. So I imagine you engaging in that behavior had to do with you wanting to feel powerful, which stems back to what Liz was saying, which is...
Power dynamic. He knew it was a fan. And knew it was... They were young.
And there's maybe an attractive...
He ultimately found the age out.
I think there's something to when it comes to like bringing it back to what you were saying, is there's also a feeling of maybe gaining my not just not power, but my sense of manhood back, because I was victimized in a way and hurt by an older man that I had no interest in being a part of that situation. That I think that there's something that I've taken with me where I feel like maybe I won't be desired by who I want to be desired by, because this older man...
What? He said, because this happened to me when I was young and this old man desired me, I thought that people that would desire me wouldn't want to desire me. Is that your way of saying that? So you tried to desire someone that was younger? That's what that reads as, by the way. That's literally what that reads as. Which again is the cycle of abuse, but it doesn't excuse it in any way. It's a very weird statement to make, actually. Very weird, actually.
Has done this to me, and it's taken that part of me away that might be attractive to who I would like to be with. And I think that a lot of those blurred lines come from grasping.
Interesting. It's important to note that so many people that are abused as children don't go on to abuse people, or if people were if things happen to them as children, they don't go on to repeat it as adults. Like, that is not a statistic, that is a common thing. So please don't take it as that. But I think it's a very weird statement to say that, you know, you were desired by, you know, this man. So you don't think that people that should be desired by you or would desire you would want to. So maybe that's why you did things. I mean, that's a very slippery slope statement to make when you've just finished basically, you know, talking about the fact that you were accused of talking to a child sexually. So whether it's meant to be the same topic or not, it doesn't really come across like a good continuation on conversation here. I know people are saying he might be only talking about, you know, being attracted to women or whatever. Carrying that on from the previous conversation of talking about him talking to children, it's not really the best segue. And he's talked about blurred lines this entire time. He should be making it very clear what he's talking about here.
Onto any part of, there's something in me that's
Desirable.
Well, it's a way to reaffirm your masculinity in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because it was taken away from you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we live in a homophobic society. We live in a society where, you know, being gay or participating in anything that is remotely associated to that means that you're not a real man. And so, in a way, do you feel like you've been compensating, you know, sometimes?
I think that's a good way to put it. And that's what it is feeling, there's something inside of me, something that I'm conveying that is attractive. And that's something that I thought had been stolen from me. And so I think that
it's like a drug.
It becomes I have to grab onto that whenever I feel that. I have to grab onto that. Okay. This person likes me. Oh, okay. Like,
And that's got to be a hard position for a young man to be in, with so many fans. They're also young and young and old, but like, because you want to be desired, and suddenly all these thousands of girls and women want to desire you. I mean, that's got to be really tricky. It's a very unique set of circumstances.
Yeah, and I think that it's also, but I think that there's also a difference between the feeling of, because when you go out on stage, when I go out on stage, and you know, I just played a concert a couple of nights ago, and there's 50,000 screaming people, and you're feeling desired, and or that are showing you love and showing this. But as soon as you walk off the stage, you're back into that. I'm alone. You know, am I really receiving the one-on-one connection that I feel that I've lost, or that I don't have the ability to attain? Because I think a lot of people would think, oh, well, you go out on stage and there's all these people screaming for you. Like, well, there's the feeling you've been looking for. It's right there. Like, it doesn't sink in. It doesn't give you what you feel has been.
So what? You go home and text them?
It can't
Taken from you.
It can't, because you don't feel like you're enough.
Yeah.
So nothing will ever fill that. And I speak from experience.
I think one of the ways that you get there is what you're doing now. You're talking about it, putting less restrictions and handcuffs on yourself to not only talk about what happened to you as a kid, but what you, how that affected you as an adult and the choices you make, and to be able to talk about it more freely, loose some of those chains, you know, that just, and learning new language will be a part of your own healing.
Yeah.
Will be a part of those who listen to you, their healing. Will be a part of what people are saying about you from these accusations, and some that you're acknowledging that you played a part in, and some that are like, absolutely not, that wasn't mine, where I was.
Yeah.
And people are trying to figure out where they land with that.
Yeah.
Part of what will help them land somewhere is how you articulate it, your comfort in it, your accountability as you're demonstrating, but also your command of the language of words.
Yeah.
And you only get that from talking about it.
Totally.
To actually take this even one step further, so, you know, the name of your accuser has been leaked on TikTok, and some of your fans are going after her.
Okay, I'm really glad she's bringing this up, because I saw that in the article that my friend Kat wrote, she talked about this, where Not only are people just not believing the people that have accused Drake Bell of things, but they are harassing them and doxing them and putting their private information online. And so it's the people that have accused Drake Bell of things are currently going through hell because Drake Bell is speaking up. That I do feel there's a responsibility from him as well, especially considering there's things that he has pled guilty to. Such a hard conversation. But I'm glad she's bringing it up.
To your fans.
I would just want to say to absolutely 100% stop. Do not go on the attack. That is not the best way. If you're feeling that that's a way to defend me or to be in my...
But also, you shouldn't have to have an interviewer force feed you to say, don't harass my accuser. You should say that out of your own will.
corner. That is not the correct way to go about that. If you want to be in my corner and you want to feel that you're supporting me and you're angry over the situation, then show it through love and compassion. You know, maybe going and supporting other survivors instead of attacking people. That's going to be a much healthier way to feel that you are defending and supporting somebody than going and trying to cause pain and hurt to someone else. Is just not, that's just not right.
Why are you emotional right now? What's coming up for you?
Because I've felt so much pain and I feel like a lot of pain has been inflicted on me, especially from the abuse that I've endured, that it breaks my heart, and it's a physical reaction when I feel that others could be feeling that same pain or feeling those same emotions, and because someone's inflicting words or actions upon them.
Yeah, but the question was that you're accusers. So we're currently talking about things that you've put onto people. We're not talking about what people have done to others. We're talking about what you've done to people. I don't know how you managed to... All right.
That just doesn't sit well with me. It brings up all of my pain, and then I feel that I don't want anyone to feel that. And so it's really hard.
And you saying what you said is going to help. Not just this person, but many other people. You know, stop that cycle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you, I think you probably got a long road ahead of you.
It's so relevant that she lied about her age. It means you wouldn't have kept... What we're not going to do is blame a fucking 15-year-old when a 30-something-year-old is talking to a child. We're not going to do that. Specifically on this channel, we're not going to do that. So, you go on to say, the girl literally got mad that Drake stopped talking to her and decided to come for her. You're talking about a child right now, by the way. An actual child. While he was into his 30s. So, fuck off with that. Specifically on this channel. Specifically on this channel. Get out of here with that bullshit. The one place that narrative's not gonna lie is on this channel. He was in his 30s and she was a 15-year-old. Fuck off with that on this channel. Fuck off with that.
There's no quick out, right? There's doing the work, being accountable every single moment, and no matter what's happened to you, being accountable not to what happened to you as a kid. I think you hold no accountability to that. Zero.
That's a learning. That's a
1,000%. I'm going to keep telling you that as long as we're connected.
Yeah.
I blamed myself for years.
It's
and
a
years,
long time to get through that.
thinking that you had a part of it.
Yeah.
That you somehow are responsible. Or that you deserved it. Well,
That's
deserved it.
a big one too.
1,000, and also just like because there's this weird thing that sex feels good. Being touched.
All right, Allie loves cat. I'm blocking you. You said 15-year-old girls are the most abusive. I think you're very weird. I think you're very, very, very weird. What a weird, weird message. Go away. Blaming a 15-year-old for a 30-something-year-old. Fucking loser. Loser. 15-year-old girl is the most manipulative. Bullshit. 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 Get out of here, fucking freak.
Not being raped. Mm-hmm. But there's this weird thing at a certain age. It's like, whoa, what the fuck do I do with this? Like, this is the worst thing happening to me. and yet it's playing with a feeling that also is a sensation of joy or good feelings. And then there's all this shit that happens. So there's blaming and self.
And what people have a hard time understanding, from my understanding of it,
Yeah.
is that just because a terrible thing is happening to you, it doesn't mean that your body is not responding favorably. Your body can respond sexually to something, even though it's being
Oh, yeah.
attacked.
And
And
then
that's
you
very
have
hard
your
thing for people to really understand when it comes to sexual abuse.
Sorry, I shouldn't have this playing while I'm doing this, but give me a moment.
Abuse and so on.
Yeah, of course.
Well, if it was happening to you, then why did you have an erection or something?
Yeah.
And this is another part of victim blaming and victim shaming. This needs to stop.
And then, so there's that. So I'm imagining that this road for you, because it's fresh and now you're in the line of fire at the moment, and hopefully less in the line of fire and also in the line of causing some healing for people, both because of your talking about your childhood and also talking about your adulthood and how you can be better will be healing. But it's going to be a journey, right? And the more that you do what you're doing, brother, I think that we can not let horrible things be completely in vain. Not that you're a martyr, not that you're like something, but that it doesn't have to be in vain, so that if in fact there are more and more that are healed and it stops cycles because of you being willing to walk through the fire.
I mean, if anything, this conversation's good for talking about the cycle of abuse and the continuation of it. You know what I mean? If anything, we got out of this. And honestly, in the second half of it, the interviewers have done a good job.
Then at least there's something that can come from that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that has taken a long time to learn, is that what happened to me doesn't have to define who I am moving forward. It doesn't have to destroy me, because those are what you think, that's what you live with for your whole life. Is this has absolutely destroyed me. This is who I am now, and what am I? And
What are you gonna do with it?
What am I going to do with it?
And you said something earlier too that I just want to address, and then I'll be done, at least, because not done, but
Yeah.
I think I would have exhausted my voice. You know that you talked about this, we talked about these blurred lines. What happens when I was a kid, I was the 3 different people that abused me. All loved me. Or so, showed me love.
Yeah.
And also there's betrayal happening. And when I finally got to an age older, I was with a therapist, and she said to me, because I had been every relationship that I loved, there was betrayal. Like tangible betrayal. And yet I loved him.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, what's wrong with me? Why, how am I this broken that I keep hurting people that I love? And I'm talking to this therapist, and she's like, let's go through your history. So you, when you were this age with this person who loved you on one hand and was betraying you, and this person loved you on one hand, so you thought, you have been wired to think that love and betrayal coexist, that they go hand in hand.
That's a heavy concept.
So
That's-
is it any wonder that as an adult, you're experiencing love and you can betray them, and that line is really blurred for you.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important thing to talk about. And I think, as I was gonna say, as hard as it is, but I think to repeat the cycle can be a common thing. But again, this is not this is not a general conversation of everyone that is abused as a child continues it on. That is not the case at all. And I think it's so important to note that as well. I think so many people slip into that terminology. Not everyone that is abused as a kid continues it.
Parents' whole life. These people told you they loved you, they took care of you, they fed you and dressed you and abused you.
Yeah.
And so on as they got older. So I wonder if that, for you, can resonate, and recognizing that I need to unblur those lines. That love and betrayal don't actually coexist.
Yeah, no, that resonates big time.
I mean, they do. We make them coexist, but
Yeah.
they should not be
They
just
shouldn't,
and maybe that's what prevents us. And I have to think about this, honestly, all of the time still. It's wired in me. At any given day, I can betray my wife. So I remind myself that it's wired, and I don't want to fall victim to what I've been in the past.
Yeah.
I want you to. So you have to constantly, daily, just remember, even though I'm wired, I have to make sure I have to constantly keep these 2 walls apart.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, all 3 of you. And
All right, we'll leave it there. I've had enough, and I know you probably have too. All right. I mean, again, it was a lot. I think it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I think that Drake Bell's main issue is that he's so overly media trained. I think obviously he prepared for this, and that can cause him to come across as very insensitive, insincere. Whether he means for it or not, I think he's overly careful of what he says based on public perception, which again, a lot of people do. Yeah, my opinion of him is just very, very mixed, very mixed. But again, two things can be true, I think, to uplift Drake Bell and also uplift his victims. I'm going to leave it there. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. That was long as fuck. Sorry, who's emailing me? What have I ordered from Amazon? All right. Everyone, I'm going to head off right now because I need to go get ready. I'm going to meet my friends soon. We got a 3-hour stream in today. I appreciate y'all being here so much. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to start uploading some of the videos. Love, love, love. Leave, leave, leave. And I will